Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of the Cheers to Comics podcast, where two, sometimes three, of your best friends are going to kick back a cold one and talk about their favorite comics of the week, including characters, creators, news, and anything else underneath our illustrated sun. If you like that, then please join me, one of your hosts, Justin Jones. And you might possibly know this person as the one who is praised for plucking a purple pickle pepper from his pull list. It's Brian Wayne.
Yo. And we also, once again, have our boy Mason here. Y'all know him.
Howdy.
That was a good job. You really tackled...
First try.
Yeah, first try, man. Didn't practice that for a half an hour or nothing or anything.
Well, I mean, not when we were recording.
No, because that'd be a waste of tape. Because we still record on tape. We old stuff.
I mean, reel to reel.
Fact.
Yeah, we do. You can't hear that?
Oh, dude, it's the best quality.
It is, totally. Well, boys, there's a lot of comics to talk about this week. But first, let's talk about what we're drinking. Justin, it was up to you this week. What are we drinking?
Yeah, we are drinking a craft lager by Upslope.
A craft lager?
Yep.
Crafted. It's great, actually. I'm enjoying this. Bright, fresh, and easy, as the can says.
I think it's my favorite Boulder-based brewery we have.
Oh, look at you, just like blasting out alliterations.
By accident this time, for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's get to the news, huh? You brought some interesting shit to my attention this week.
Oh, the Donny Cates thing.
Yeah, man. What a joke. What a joke, seriously.
Alright, so what happened with Donny Cates?
So, Donny Cates has been tearing the world of Venom a new asshole in the best way possible.
Agreed.
What I mean to say is he's making Venom interesting.
And people don't like change.
People don't like change because you get all these, like, what I guess there's a term called shippers now. People love this, like, relationship between Eddie and the symbiote. And now, which we'll get to more in depth later, because we're going to be talking about Venom number 11.
There we are.
Some of the stuff that's come to light has
He's changed some of the story. You know, he's been creative and he's able to realistically change.
He's throwing
the story.
fucking huge curveballs.
But Donny Cates is going with Eddie Brock and not Flash Thompson Venom?
Yeah, oh yeah, correct.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's just curveball after curveball.
And we will get into that, but the piece of the news, and I got this from comicbook.com. Who's it written by? I should probably...
Any Cletus Cassidy?
Adam Bonhart.
Wrote the article.
Yeah, good article, man.
Okay.
Just want to give him a shout. But he's been receiving death threats over Twitter and other places over his work on Venom. People don't like it, and people have gone so far as to threaten his life because of a fucking comic book. Because it's 20 fucking pages.
It is. It's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, it's the same thing that I told you the other day with the Titans thing. Yeah, I may not like the new Titans, but that doesn't mean anybody ruined the Titans that I know. I can still go watch it. And it's the same thing with Venom. Nobody's ruining your Venom. You can still go read the old Venom that you like.
Yeah. I mean, what I took away from this is just toxic fanboys.
Oh,
yeah. It just needs to stop. If you are one of those people who feel that strongly about a fucking comic book when you're listening to this...
Play in traffic. Go fucking play in traffic. Seriously.
Well, I don't want to go that far.
No, go play in traffic. There's a chance you'll make it.
I just want to say, like, reevaluate. Like, is this really important? Are you really mad at Donnie? You can't be. I mean, there's no way because he changed, he doesn't have a sister and that he didn't have cancer. Oh no, he deserves death threats. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Donny Cates has been a fantastic writer who's thinking outside the box.
You mean it's a big surprise that the alien symbiote that for all this time has been manipulating this fucking vessel? Oh, surprise!
Right. Yeah.
Oh my god, alright, I'm gonna move on and fucking spill my beer.
Yeah, let's talk about some good comics.
Well, there's a little bit more news.
Oh, you got something else?
A little bit. So, back on the rumor train. It's been rumored that, like, remember a few weeks ago we talked about how a few creators got the axe, or not creators, bigwigs at DC got the axe lost, or got
doing some layoffs.
Got unemployed. So Dan Didio, the head honcho, or one of them, announced that there's going to be some cutbacks in DC titles.
Right.
And he, like, kind of went as far as to without directly saying Marvel's responsible for the oversaturation of titles or whatever. He went on to say that without saying that. But this is where the rumor board gets out of control. Is for the longest time, DC has been, since the New 52 thing, they like stick to 52 titles.
Right.
Well, then they started, somebody, I think it was Bleeding Cool, came out and said that, rumored, got it spread pretty badly, actually, to the point where Didio had to, do damage control, saying that it's going to drop from 52 to 22, so it's going to be New 22.
Okay.
That's a fucking huge hit, man.
More than half.
Well, that's not true.
Okay.
That's not true. He said 10 to 15% of their titles would be cut back. Not a big deal. Because what a lot of people don't realize is most of DC's books are bi-weekly. So, okay, so they go monthly.
More than 5, less than 10.
So they go monthly? Fucking, I'm okay with that. It's not like it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be losing titles. It just might loosen up the production is all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's all that is. All of these headlines are titled "DC's tanking," the end of DC Comics, and all that shit because of cutbacks.
Sure, disaster
Clickbait
sells.
titles because that's what sells.
Exactly. And then you go on, and even if you read these articles, these same fucking these headlines, if you actually read these articles, they go on to explain exactly what I just said. So these.
Yeah. I mean, that's just marketing. That's just that's the
I
algorithm.
get it.
But the problem
That's
is
what
that
gets the clicks.
the problem is that when you do clickbait titles like that, people are going to read your headline, not read the article, and then go spread misinformation based off of your headline because you couldn't actually explain it properly.
This is pretty much me just reading the article to all the people that just believed the headline and didn't click. I'm not dissing you because I've been guilty of doing it myself. You can't read every fucking headline. But if you just so happen to
I mean, even if you don't want to read the article, you read it and then it gets stuck in your head. And,
exactly, and that idea persists, and that's what the whole idea of that kind of marketing is supposed to do.
Sad reality of social media.
Yeah,
and I'm here to tell you, DC's doing just fine on account of The Batman Who Laughs. That book by Scott Snyder has been one of the top-selling books in the world. Top-selling DC book, number 1 and number 2. For both issues. So each month that book's come out, it's been the top selling. But DC's doing just fine. They're just not wanting to oversaturate. What's up, man?
Have you ever gone and watched what that title is based off of? The Man Who Laughs?
Oh, but that's a whole different thing, though.
Well, it is, but it's also, you understand that a lot of that principle is the inspiration for the Joker to begin with.
I'm sure.
Have you ever seen the movie?
No.
Oh, you have to go see it.
Oh, I'll check it out.
I mean, it's an older black and white film. The whole concept is that a man is basically born with a deformity where he's permanently got the Joker's smile, essentially.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. I haven't seen it, but I got a better reference.
But that is directly what the character is supposed to be based off of.
Gotcha.
And I just thought it was funny that at a point they finally go and they're like, let's just go ahead and reference the entire movie and just put that in the title.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not saying that the series is based off of the movie, but they said, let's go ahead and take where the Joker came from and put that into the title.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I never knew that.
There's some more to check out. Another piece of DC news. DC's been doing these 100-page giants that have been exclusive to Walmart.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a thing anymore.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that those 100-page giants are going to stop. That means they're going to start expanding to other places.
Yeah, cool.
So we're going to get them in comic book stores now, so you'll be able to get them at your LCS instead of having to go to a Walmart to get comic books. God, there's nothing more nauseating when you avoid Walmart and then you have to go there just because you're a comic nerd. God, that sucks. Well, those days are coming to an end.
I actually never would have known that those 100-page giants were at Walmart if it wasn't for Twitter. Just seeing other people post it. Well, where is this?
And they're not trash books either. They're good books, man. Highly desirable, too. There's some great stories in there.
I mean, that's some meaty comic book.
For sure. Well, it's 5 or 6 different stories by different creators. And it's great stuff. I haven't read all of them, obviously.
I mean, as a kid, if you only get a comic book every so often, and you get one of those, hell yeah.
Oh,
those aren't kids' books, though. That's the thing. That's the thing that blows me away is these books are not for kids. There was a Superman issue. I think it was the last Superman that came out. First page is Lex Luthor holding a gun to Lois Lane. And the whole story is Tom King telling a Superman story about Superman dreaming of all the different ways Lois Lane could die. And it is fucking gruesome. And this is a Walmart book.
Well, but
so,
I mean, to be fair, dude. To be fair. Okay. But to be fair, there's been... I want to say, when I was a kid, my first comic book I got is not something I ever expected. It developed my lifelong obsession with Ryan Bloodshot. My first comic book I ever received was Ryan the Future Force. And I got that when I was like 5 or 6. And I had no idea. I don't think my parents had any idea how bloody that comic was.
But that was decades ago. We're talking about in this PC world we live in now, where you could go to Walmart and on the first page of a comic book, you see Lex Luthor holding a gun to Lois Lane's head. Like that's the thing that's. I mean, it's.
If you also look at like
parents buy
public
7-year-olds mature rated games now, though.
Violence is everywhere in the American culture anymore.
No, I get you, but that's just not the direction I expected the Walmart books to go.
No, I
did
get
not
where you're coming from, for sure. Yeah.
So, but now they are going to expand.
To be fair, Walmart at one point was carrying Evangelion toys. Like, that is not a kid-friendly anime. Yeah. That is freaking dark.
Yeah, I mean, but who says the toy section is only for kids?
Same thing with the comics.
Come on,
dude. All right, I went and had my oil change at Walmart today. I'm sorry. I admitted it. But I went for the comics. But because it's the only place in the world where you can get your oil changed and look at comics without having to buy them. Because fuck you, Walmart. What was I saying?
Comic books, Walmart,
oil change.
Toys aren't only for kids.
Oh yeah, that's all I did. Was after I got done reading flipping through comics. I didn't read any. I don't read anything. I don't.
Toys are meant to entertain. Who doesn't like being entertained?
I stroll up and down the fucking toy section, man. So no, I totally get what you're saying. And yeah, toys are for.
Well, I'm just saying that it's
people
Walmart,
with money, and
Walmart
kids don't have money. Toys are for adults. Is my point. Kids don't have money. I have money. Sorry.
So we need to make.
Don't look at me weird.
Who buys those children their toys?
So what you're saying is we need to make
Good point. One for you, one for me. One for you, one for me. That's how I do it. I'd be a broke-ass parent.
So we need to make a Toys R Us for adults?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that what Games Workshop
So Toys R Us only?
Toys are me, bitches.
Toys are me. Toys are adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, no, then somebody's going to start selling
all
dildos
you do is
in
you
your
just
store.
flip the R the right way. Just flip the R the right way. And then it's, boom.
Or we
That's how you know.
We can actually spell it out.
Shit. That's adult, buddy.
Man. You want to stop being a podcaster and start being a business owner?
Let's bring back Toys R Us, huh? On account of they don't exist in the United States anymore.
Bring it back for adults.
Yeah. Toys R Us.
Toys R. Rated R. Us.
Even better. Toys become us.
Oh my god. You just got deep.
On that note,
let's talk about some fucking comics.
We had a lot of good stuff to talk about this week. Some of the stuff I've been waiting an extra long time to talk about because I got it early. And Bitterroot's one of them. We've both been fiending over some Bitterroot, man. Image is just...
Never disappoints.
It hasn't yet. It just gets better and better and better. Sir David F. Walker, Chuck Brown, Sanford Green, and Rico Renzi. And I went with cover A, so it's Sanford Green and Jerome Wimberly did this cover. It's a pretty fucking sweet cover. So it's really not much of a different story than what we've been getting.
More Jinnu, more demons, more family conflict.
Yeah, there is.
Berg has still been transformed.
Yes, and he's going out to help his cousin.
Colin.
What's her name?
Colin.
No,
what is
Blink.
her name?
Blink. She's out getting her ass whooped, and eventually, what's her Maeda? She's talking to this starting to change kind of Berg, and she realizes that he's not fully changed because he's still talking the same even though he looks different. Like, he's still very articulate and all this stuff. And eventually she kind of talks the sense into him. Then he goes out and he helps his cousin, and he's really at that point you realize oh shit, there's this monstrous type of Jinnu thing there's more to it than all this, which I mean obviously they've been hinting at. It's a lot more than black and white in this. There's a lot of grayness going on. And then that's really exposed when Cullen, he's out with Uncle Enoch.
Oh, this is the book with the Enoch character in it. Okay.
Yeah, you were here for one of those.
Well, I explained to you afterwards that, Enoch was Noah's father in the Bible.
Gotcha.
And this book seems to have a lot of biblical references in it.
I don't pay attention to any of that shit. But, No, I just read my comics, man. But so yeah, no, they're going through, and in the meantime, they're on this pretty cool chase, and they're running through all these different types of Jinnus, and they realize these guys aren't like the same type of Jinnus that they've been dealing with. And one of them gets shot with Cullen's anti-Jinnu serum, and he starts turning back, and he's trying to get him to safety, and then they realize that this is like when the heavy message comes in. I don't want to elaborate on it because it could go so many different ways and just ruin this podcast. So, there's definitely a deep message is the point here. So, oh man, god damn. This is a Black History book month of the month. Like if there's this is February, this is the book. Yeah. If you need like this is Black History Month. I need my book. This is the one. It really is. And this entire series, it's an all black creative team. Yeah. It's fucking amazing. And I myself, as a white man, am still very drawn to it. So it goes to show it is not a divisive book.
Good story is good story.
That's exactly what it is.
Good writing is good
That's
writing.
what it comes down to. It's good writing. You can have a divisive message without being a divisive, without it being a divisive book, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's with any media. You can have your politically charged message, but as long as you have it written to where it's not just this is what I'm trying to throw at you,
right?
And you're more focused on the story and your character development, then I don't mind. Do it.
Yeah, man. These guys
I think
do
everything
a great
about
job.
creative works. I mean, it's written well, and this art is fantastic. This
It
color
looks
palette
beautiful.
is just on point at every page.
The fucking character design, because it's not like all these Jinnu run around looking the same.
No, definitely
like,
not.
especially once they reveal this Inzondo thing. So let me elaborate on what an Inzondo is. So we've been going through realizing that, you start to realize that the pattern that only white people are turning into Jinnu. Because like Ford shows up to a clan meeting, and as they're hanging this guy, it's only the white people. Hence his little white buddy Johnny that's been running around with him, who was just kind of like barely KKK. He was like, I was just fucking
He did
here.
because all of his neighbors were
Right.
Yeah, right.
And but meanwhile, like Ford's like, you have something I need, so he's rolling around
They
with
kind
him.
of got this interesting team up.
It's Ford's my favorite character in this book.
Hands down. I mean, I love the whole cast.
I just love the way he I don't want
He's
to
that
say
Van Helsing, Blade, just stoic badass.
yeah, exactly, man. He just commands every single panel.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every
He's the man in charge.
Exactly.
He's grizzled. He's a veteran. Like, yeah, he's your guy.
And he and Johnny show up outside as Berg and Blink and Maeda are swiping things. So that's kind of how that ends. And it's eventually all of these guys are going to be in the same page. Eventually. I like to think we're getting closer and closer. Within an issue or two, I would like to see the whole Sangri damn family all up in this motherfucker. Just let's do our thing. I want to see.
We might be missing one.
What do you mean?
Cullen at the very end, he starts getting pulled into that portal, and then to be continued.
Oh, that's right. He does fucking get pulled into a portal.
Because while these African folk haven't been turned into Jinnu, they've been turned into, what was it?
Inzondo. Okay, so the
Inzondo,
difference
yeah.
between Jinnu and Inzondo is that a Jinnu is consumed by
Hatred.
hate, and an Inzondo is consumed by
Despair.
pain and despair. So with that is kind of where the message starts to develop a little bit when you start to dissect everything. Like I said, I'm not going to elaborate. I'll leave that up to you because we're all up to our own.
I think it's
whatever.
worth bringing up. I mean, yeah, it's definitely it strives to make a point about some of the racial issues, but it's not so ham-fisted.
It's not. It's extremely subtle. It's extremely subtle.
And it delivers it to you in a way where you care about these characters. You care about their plight. You care about their world.
Oh, man. I care about this book.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. I really did not think this would be my book. I did not. I give every Image #1 a shot, but here I am through #4 now, just waiting on issue 5. I'm actually, like I said, I request these issues early, just 'cause for whatever reason. Yeah. But that's because I enjoy these.
Yeah,
like,
and I really want to recommend this book. I mean, if you haven't dipped into this team, check them out. I don't feel like this team is flexing at all. I don't think they're just trying to show off. I feel like this is them stretching out, being comfortable, and just showing you, like, hey, this is what they do.
Oh, no, especially when you look at the color palette for the panels that are in there.
dude, this color palette sells the book.
Exactly. The color palette really tells you that it's not trying to flex at all. It's an experimentation. It's let us branch out and see what we can do here. Let us,
play around a little bit, and it works.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's so good, man.
Definitely.
It really is. So yeah, well, like I'm gonna say this one more time, being that it is February. If you're looking for your like, what's my Black History book month? Book? Did I
Book
say?
of the month.
Book of the month. There we go. Thank you. This is the book. There is no debate.
So far,
This
I
is
mean,
the
that would be
series.
one.
This is the book.
Yeah.
Read Bitterroot. Bam.
I agree.
Middle West, number 4. Another
Yeah.
Image. Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. We've been.
Love Scotty
I
Young.
feel like it's. I know, right? I feel like it's been way too long since this book came out. But maybe it just only been a month. It's been a long month, though, man.
This is a good one.
Yes. So we're at the Hearst Family Amazing Amusements, which is the carnival that they were led to once they were in the creepy wizard's house, and they need to find Madame or the mystical Magdalena.
Magdalena. Yep.
Yeah, and apparently she has the answers as to why Abel's chest gets glowy when he gets
Yep.
mad.
Trying to figure out the symbol.
Yeah, it's so far we've this series is just full of questions. They're not answering shit through 4 issues. They just keep adding questions to it, and normally that annoys me. But I will say one thing. Is goddamn does Scotty Young make these questions fucking interesting, intriguing.
Well, everything about this one. I feel like Jorge is really coming out as an artist. I feel like it's just coming so much more naturally every issue.
Oh yeah, no,
I mean,
that's-
it's just-
the art's
It's
unquestionably
really
fucking
unfolding,
perfect.
and this world just, while it's still small, we still don't understand a lot of it. It's growing in the most delightful ways.
It really is, and growing into the fact that we're actually, it looks like, well, can confirm we are getting some solid characters here. At first I was like, I don't know if these guys are going to be flyby characters or not. Let me get to that. So Abel and Fox are hungry, broke, and making their way through a carnival trying to find the mystical Magdalena to get some questions answered.
But they can't find her.
They can't find her, and they're still hungry. So Fox, in his foxy ways, is like, hey, I fucking got this. So he's able to con some carnies out of a corn dog. I could bust out alliterations, too.
A little bait and switch.
Yeah, and so yeah, he goes off and does that, and then he goes on and is like, I think I could take this a little further. What if I taught you the classic oopsie doopsie? Because everyone's heard of an oopsie doopsie, right?
Of course.
It's really just
Pickpocketing 101.
it's just a bump and grab, pretty much. Well, they get caught by a couple that they very, very briefly stumbled earlier. You knew that they were going to play another part in the book.
Mechanical team for the carnival.
Yeah.
They've been watching him.
And their names are very subtly dropped. But if you read hard enough, you can catch them. And their names are Bobby and Wrench. So we meet Bobby and Wrench. And they don't, like I said, the interaction between them and Abel at first is very standoffish. He like trips over him or something. They're
Hey,
like,
watch
watch
where
it,
you're
buddy.
going, kid. Why is
Yeah.
this sad kid around? He's probably just not got a second helping with cotton candy.
Right, he
Man.
think exactly, yeah. She has a sour outlook on him.
Yeah.
Is that a Pikachu?
No.
That looks like a Pikachu. If Pikachu had buck teeth and extra ears, that's
I mean,
a
it
Pikachu.
looks more like a rabbit.
Doesn't
Right.
Pikachu look like a rabbit? Oh,
Well,
okay,
he's
I'm
based
not
off
gonna.
a squirrel, but yeah, he does look like a rabbit.
Okay, so I'm not gonna argue. He's a rabbit.
Sure.
Fucking. So yeah. Anyways, they get caught doing their oopsie doopsie, and we get this sweet fucking chase with Wrench and Abel through the park, and then he gets cornered by Bobby
Yeah,
and
he
a
starts
bunch of
getting angry.
carnies, and then Dust kicks up, and he starts to go. Presuming, I'm gonna guess just Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I mean, this has exactly. That's exactly where my mind went. Just whole like Dragon Ball Z power up moment. Ah! And just all this fucking
Yeah.
dust flying everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're left with once again no answers, many more questions.
Yep.
Love it though, and I'm
Thanks
okay with
Toriyama
it.
for setting that trend forever.
Well, sure. I mean, but I love it, and it's just delivered so fantastically here.
Yes.
These have been little treats to read every month.
Treats indeed.
I mean, to be fair,
God damn it.
but I mean, I'm a manga fan, and that goes back a long way. Like the power build up and screaming. I think that even happens before Toriyama even hit the scene.
I mean,
Oh yeah, man.
story wise, for one panel, it's powerful. Like you get what's happening.
Oh yeah.
And that's really the thing about this book is there's at least been one page in every one of these books where it's just a powerful whatever. Like it could be fun. What's going on here? I like this dynamic, and all of a sudden you're like,
Boom,
oh
serious.
shit, Dad's a tornado. Dad doesn't like him. Dad wants to know where his son's at. Dad's
Oh,
not a
this
tornado.
kid has the same shit going on.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's a fucking trend here with Dad, except for this one. This one.
We got no dad this one. You're
No
right.
Dad in this one. No. I really do love this book. I
really hope this one is on for a long run.
give me some
I'm not
fuck.
ready for this one to
Answer one question for me though, Scotty. Just one. I don't care which one. Any of them. Just any of them. Just answer one question.
Just any one of them.
end.
But
I
take that back.
Being
He
in the
did.
dark. I'm
He did.
enjoying every page.
He did answer one question, not in writing though. On Twitter, I did ask him, and he actually was so kind as to answer. I said, please make sure Bobby and Wrench are a thing. And he said, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So,
Excellent.
unless he's Bizarro worlding me and he's going to kill him off the next issue, and he thinks that's just what I'm into, and I'm into it. Yeah, I don't know. I think these guys are going to be ongoing. I really like the design. I think Bobby just has that fucking sass that Abel needs. Like, Fox is a cool sass, but at the same time, like, it's the sass of a fox.
Sure. I mean, yeah, no, I get what you mean.
He needs some human companionship, man. He's running around with a goddamn fucking fox that won't even, like, refuses to name himself. So, yeah. Sandman universe from the DC Vertigo line. Lucifer.
Talking about Lucifer, tell me about Lucifer.
Dan Waters, Max Fiumara, and his brother, Sebastian Fiumara, along with Dave McCaig, are delivering gold. And I went with the Rico Murakami cover. That's a fucking sweet cover. So, I'm starting to kind of get a little bit better at being able to describe these. We start out, and this is going to be one that I'm going to fly through, just give you a good idea of why you need to read it. Because it's just, I don't know. I know what I do know. And it starts out with like this leprechaun type of fellow. He's an Irishman.
Okay.
And you could tell based off of the dialogue, the way it's written. He's outside, freezing in the cold, drunk, screaming at fucking birds or whatever a drunk Irishman screams at, and then he dies in the cold. But what he's screaming about is he is the man that bested Lucifer. He is the man that beat the devil.
Oh.
And those are pretty much like his dying words. And at this point, once he's dead, he has to figure out his place among the afterlife. So he goes to heaven, and heaven is like, it's not necessarily heaven, but what heaven would be in this world. And he's like, nah, dog, you're a cheater. He's like, yeah, but I beat the devil. I was like, you cheated the devil. Still makes you a cheater. He's like, oh, no, you're not free here. He's like, well, I'm cool on Earth. He's like, Earth don't want you. So he, like, peels up the ground, and he's like, hell's cool. He's like, but the devil,
I can't go there?
Yeah, I can't. But he's like, all right, no, I got this. So he goes up, and he's down in hell, just tra-la-la-la-la, and he sees these pretty sweet demons. He's like, take me to your leader, bitches. And they're like, meh. And then Lucifer shows up. He's like, I know you.
I remember you.
Right. And then Lucifer's like, well, check it out. Like, you can't be here either. And he's like, but what do I do? He's like, oh, I got you. You're just damned to nothingness from here on out.
You just go to the abyss forever.
Exactly. So eventually, this Irishman floating through the abyss finds his way into some sort of portal or something. I'm sure I'm doing a terrible job. There's something about the Sandman lore that I'm not getting. So forgive me.
Dude, it's been forever since I've read Sandman, so I couldn't fill you in on it.
Yeah. Well, he makes his way into this like portal type of thing, and it turns out to the city, and he's trying to like make his way through the city, and it's just like bullshit after bullshit after bullshit for this poor guy. And then Lucifer is just fucking with him throughout the whole time, and because that's what the devil does, man. He's all about those tricks. And then he goes on to say that, and then eventually he's able to, I forget exactly how it is, and I'm glad because I feel like I would ruin it for you and give you if I told you, you'd have no reason to read the book. But he gets the devil again. So the actual title of the story is The Man Who Bested the Devil Not Once But Twice. So...
Man, I've
cool.
only been reading Dreaming, but I wanted to jump into one of the books in this one, and
I think I picked the winner in the
sounds
Sandman.
good too.
This makes me think of JTH.
I don't know those letters.
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Johnny dies, he can't. Heaven doesn't want him because he blows people's heads up, And Hell doesn't want him because he's just absolutely insane and will destroy Hell.
That sounds very similar to what this is. It's in very, very enjoyable dialogue too. Like, it's very witty, and then you're reading it either out loud or in your head. Like, you could feel an accent, you could feel a tone. Like, the voices are all very different as you're reading it in your head. Like, you could tell it's an Irishman. And if you like read Lucifer like this, you're not reading it right. Like, the writer does a good job of, like,
He gives
you
him a
know
voice.
what Lucifer would sound like.
You know what you want, what that internal
That's
voice.
good writing and good lettering.
Oh, dude, these guys do an amazing job, and fucking amazing art, dude.
Well, I'm
This
sure a lot
art
of that is actually, I was going
incredible.
to say, a lot of that voice is probably conveyed in the lettering and the art style.
Oh, the lettering is like, fucking, you know what? I am gonna shout out the lettering here because it is fucking top notch.
Because, I mean, if somebody's able to convey the voice of a character, it's through lettering, normally.
a lot of times, yeah, that's how I picture Venom, to be honest. Like, Venom's lettering, Steve Wands is our letterer
Okay.
here, so shout out to Steve Wands. We don't usually shout out letterers, but I'm glad you pointed that out, Mason, because the lettering did really help carry the tone in this book. And it's the whole Sandman thing. Like, Neil Gaiman knows what the fuck he's
Neil
doing.
Gaiman knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's not writing these, but he's behind this whole Sandman revival.
Is he
so.
at least like a creative consultant or something?
Yeah, they're his stories.
Okay.
He's just like, write these.
As long as they don't Kojima him.
yeah. No, they're his, man. Another indie Image, dude. This book. Oh man. All right, so this is my most anticipated book of the week last week, and it did not let me down. What book is it? Sharky the Bounty Hunter. Mark
Right,
Miller
I
and
remember you mentioned this one.
yeah, man, Simone Bianchi. I got the Simone Bianchi cover. There were a lot of good covers to choose from, but I went with cover A because this is a 6-issue mini-series that I'm gonna be totally into. It's just a fucking quick shot in the Millerverse. From what I understand, this is going to be adapted into a TV show, I believe.
Ooh.
Huh.
And god damn, all right.
Very
After
rare,
reading this,
very rare does anything from the Millerverse get converted to video media.
I mean, we got Kick-Ass. That was about it, right? That's about it. No, we got Logan.
Yeah. we got
Logan. So nah, but there's a lot of Millerverse out there.
Oh, absolutely.
But this book right here, oh man, it is just as weird as I could ever hope it
to be
be.
fair, Logan was very far off of the old
Oh,
Man Logan
yeah.
story. Very.
Oh, yeah,
very
no,
far. We didn't get to see Hulk inbreeds or
Yeah,
anything like
really,
that.
all we got out of that was the wastelands. It was the setting. Was
Yeah,
the
and
only.
they-
I
yeah.
would have loved to have seen, the fucking inbred Hulk children.
Oh my
We got
God.
Wolverine suffering from the adamantium poisoning.
Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they never really even covered that in the movie, though.
No, they did.
They did,
That was
yeah.
that was
Oh.
the main plot at the end. It was like
That's
he
why
had to
his
like
healing's
super
failing.
inject himself
Oh,
and
that's
like
right.
and, yeah.
That's right. But
Yeah.
yeah, they did.
Yeah, he
They
had to
changed
use
a
the
lot
eugenics.
from the actual Old Man Logan story.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
but that's
But you
some-
couldn't
that's
call that a
something they do.
Millerverse movie though. There's no way you could
no.
call that a Millerverse movie.
Yeah.
It's this right here is about as Millerverse as it feckin' gets.
Tell me about
So Sharky, our boy, was sitting at the bar bullshitting it up with some dude. Turns out this guy's his what's the word? His target, I guess. So he gets the guy to admit who he is and was like, I got you, bitch. And he does his thing. He fucking arrests him, but not without sweet commotion and alien guts everywhere. And I wouldn't say guts, just like blasting and pew pew pew. Sharky shot first. I'll say that. But but this guy, he actually ends up getting away by like he spreads himself out. His target, whatever it is, he's kind of like multiple mans out, but like shrinks down. So he gets away through the toilet.
Okay.
So just right there, I know it was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I could stop right there, but I'm not because I gotta tell you what happens next. Naturally, because that's what happens when you don't stop. You keep going. So he's celebrating by getting him some nanny with this sweet alien, and as he's going to town, little Timmy No Parents walks in, and he's like, "You killed my uncle, bro. I need you to take me to my closest relative." It's like I could tell you exactly how many miles away it is. No, I can't. It's a lot. It's out of the way. It's like 10 million light years away out or something like that. It's completely
boy.
out of his way. But you realize at first you might be thinking like, oh, this Sharky guy, he's just doesn't give a shit. Well, it turns out the thing about him and what makes him so admirable as a bounty hunter is his integrity. So he abides by this. He's like, you know what? I'll fucking take you back. I could help you be. I'm the reason why you're an orphan right now. I killed your uncle. Proud of it, but I mean, I am proud of it. But I'll help you, even though everything
Your
we need
uncle
to
was
do.
a piece of trash.
He's a piece of shit, dude. So he goes off. He's like, all right, I'm gonna fucking take you. And then he gets a call, and he's like, so we got this bounty, and it's gonna pay 1 billion kodum. Apparently, kodum is their currency, and 1 billion's a lot in every language.
That is true.
I don't know, except for yen.
Yeah, except for yen. That's just a broken system. At least to us Americans, we don't understand. So he's like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking tempting. All right, cool. So he accepts it with this kid on board. So you realize, all right, this kid's just along for the ride.
Right.
But it's already been established this dude has integrity. Doesn't matter, I guess, doesn't matter which direction he takes his integrity. He's going to get the kid there. As if that's not enough, we introduce an antagonist. And at the end, I don't know who this guy is, obviously. He's like, oh, I'm going for that 1 billion kodum too, bitch.
So, like,
and
last
Sharky's
panel
after
reveal.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
gotcha.
Sharky's after it. Goddamn right, I'm going for that shit. It's just a fun fucking read, man. It's 6 issues. I'm going to be
That
on
sounds
board.
like you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it profusely.
Awesome.
A lot. Over and over. I'm not going to lie, I read it twice. Do you have any other indies? You do.
I did read one. I read a High Level. Creative team would be Rob Sheridan, Barnaby Bagenda, and Romulo Fajardo Jr.
Right on.
Great cover this week. You got one of the variants, this purple, of her sitting cross-legged controlling this robot. Man, great cover.
It's a great fucking cover.
So I don't really know a whole lot about this world. They haven't really explained a whole lot of it yet. It starts off with somewhere else, ... and we have this like very kingly and queenly figure talking about, don't forget we have dinner, and the king just looks disappointed, and there's somebody else in a cloaked figure who approaches him saying, are you looking for something more? And then we cut to our main character. This is 13. This world takes place in like a very cyberpunk era. I really like it, very Mad Max-y. She's a sewage cleaner. She's dumping out the septic tanks at some sleazy bar in the middle of nowhere.
She's doing? All right.
But secretly, she's there for some kind of data, and she meets up with this lady and have a very like sexual encounter. Like, ooh, I'm picking up a prostitute, takes her to the bathroom, and then hey, it's all business. I'm looking for the information. It's a trade. Hey, I could use somebody else for this team. Sorry, I work for myself. 13's a very solitary character they're developing. Well, then we have this government agency who shows up, and they're looking for a little girl. At first, she thinks it's her. Then they start showing a picture, and it is of a little girl. Some of the bar people don't take too kindly to them being there. This is a free territory, and we have 13 driving away because we saw her slip out of a door, and this bar is on fire. They destroyed this place. So, government people bad.
Obviously.
She gets to her junkyard establishment, and she meets up with her job. She got the job done. There's another one for her. It pays $1 billion.
She's a busy bitch.
It pays 10,000. What? Hold on, let me find.
It's not 1 billion kodum, is it?
No, I don't think so. Don't think so.
Because they stole that. If that's what they did, that's Sharky's shit.
It's got to be Wulong.
1 million.
They don't say what it is. It just says it pays 1,000. She's like, fuck yeah, all right, okay, I'll do the job. But first she has to go home and get a shower and a drink. So she pours a drink, takes a shower, blah blah blah. Playing with her little toy. She's talking about how people in this world are always looking for something more. Like they can't be satisfied. Maybe she's just unique because she's happy with her lot in life.
What do you mean by playing with her toy? Like what?
So she puts on these little gloves and she's playing with this little robot. Like playing this music but controlling it like a marionette.
Oh, so is that what I'm seeing on my cover then?
Yeah, that's exactly what you're seeing on the cover.
Ah, that's pretty. I like Matino's art more. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And actually, it looks very reminiscent of that was technology we had in the 80s. The Nintendo Power Glove was actually originally designed to control robots.
Son of a bitch, man.
Interesting. Never do that. Story continues on. 13 is scoping out her location. She's supposed to get some technology or a microchip. And this is in a warehouse the next night. Somewhere in the warehouse district. So she sneaks in and there's some kind of weird cultish sermon going on. She sneaks through. She finds the person she's supposed to meet and he hands her the chip. But then he grabs her saying, "Sorry, I had no choice."
Psych.
And we cut to this
setup.
brutal cyborg spider leg guy with a saw for an arm and spider like eyes, and
They just took like, all right. So the editors were like, or the writer was like, all right, character designer, I want you to take everything cool about character designs ever, and make this guy.
Sure.
It looks like one of the. It actually looks like one of the Strogg from Quake 2.
yeah, I can see that.
All
We just
right.
want a big bad evil guy that people can just look at and go, yeah, he's the villain.
Yeah,
Clearly the
evil.
bad
He's
guy.
Bad. He's clearly bad.
But he is a cult leader of some sort, talking about how they're going to cleanse people of their flesh. How this girl came in to steal their technology with her fleshly desires and greed. So they're going to start cutting her up. And I love this line. He says that, "Do you have any last words before of repentance, before purification?" And she just says, "Yeah, can you take my left arm instead? This arm's my jerk-off arm."
She's
writing.
weird.
But before he can start amputating anything, there's a bunch of gunshots. And there's a man in a uniform with a mask on, with a knife right above her. She's like, "Fuck, this is how it's going to end." But he cuts her free. And it's one of her old friends. And he is
Prince
there.
Charming himself.
Akon, I believe.
Oh,
is
yeah,
his name.
Akon.
Exactly, Prince Charming. Synonymous. Well, he came all the way down south because he went up north to join the army, and he's with her to find a job, or has a job for her. And this job is to escort this little girl, the same little girl that the Republic or whatever these guys were called, were looking for the whole time.
Son of a bitch. She's a busy bitch, man.
Yeah, and so that's next part. You know, I don't
Welcome
know.
to the war.
I didn't know what to think of this one at first, but the more I read it, the more this world intrigued me. I'm looking forward to this. This is a Justin book. This is a sci-fi, weird,
it
out
looks
there
fucking
book.
cool.
The second half of this book is way better than the first half, and that just goes to show you should not stop reading a book halfway through, no
Well,
matter
it takes
how
a
much
moment.
you don't like the first half, because you could still be sold. I am the example of that. I actually will admit that I attempted this book twice and got to the same spot twice.
You gave up
And
right before it
stopped.
got good.
Twice.
Right before it got
and
good.
I literally could have just turned the next page and saw a goblin spider monster man and been cool. I would have been like, all right, I'm going to keep turning, and I would have kept going from here.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it stays good, I'll keep telling you about it.
Please do.
I will.
That's what we get paid for.
We get paid.
When did that start?
We're going to take a break now.
Right back after these messages. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Do you have any other indie books?
I did read East to West. Again, it's not a good place for me just to jump in. You and anybody who's been listening who hasn't read it would have no idea. And I can't explain it. There's just too much going on.
Right on.
Is it something you would recommend?
In a heartbeat.
Dude, he
it
can't.
is-
He keeps asking me. He's like, "Did you read all 38 backup volumes of East to West yet?"
Hey, I'm just asking if you read the first trade I lent to you.
Okay, to be fair, that's how I would be with Berserk. Is,
I know.
it's like-
No, it's.
Well, I
get
do want to
you.
give a shout out to this creative team. It's written by Jonathan Hickman, art done by Nick Dragotta, colors by Frank Martin, and letters done by Russ Wooton. And this team is knocking it out of the park. This is my second favorite comic book, other than Saga. It goes Saga, East of West, and then everything else.
No
Yeah,
shit. I didn't realize it was that highly
I
praised by you. I'm not
love
gonna
this
lie.
book. It's hard for me to have this conversation if you haven't read it, because I don't want to give anything away, because I think you should read this.
Yeah.
Saga, I think you might like. I don't think that's your book.
Really?
East of West is your book.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a Brian book.
Okay.
Saga, I think you would like. I think there's enough in there to draw your attention, but I think there's enough there to maybe not be for you.
Because I read the first volume and I was like, "This is fucking dope. Justin needs to see this." And then Justin was like, "Brian, this is fucking dope."
Yep.
So, I don't know. I do have every intention on checking out Saga. This 1.5 year hiatus will eventually
It'll
end.
give you time. It'll give you time, but every week it just flies
Yeah,
by.
Exactly. And every week there's just more and more.
More and more to read. Oh yeah.
I'm finding that I need to read Fight Club 2 now because of Fight Club 3, and there's just so many good things. We're gonna getting the Mr. Miracle, though. That was like the top of the thing. So
Yep.
we will have some Mr. Miracle talk for you soon. But that's another day. In the meantime, we're done with indies then? I'm correct?
Yeah, DC.
DC. Nightwing. It was a modest week for DC.
For us,
but,
at least.
Yeah, for us. But it was still a week of quality.
Indeed.
And Nightwing 57, I felt like for this being usually a bi-weekly book, these last 2 weeks took like double long. So
I feel like it's been a while since we've had a Nightwing.
it's been a while, and the way they left us off, you felt like you were going to get some answers immediately because of the pace that it's been going. But we're finally back, and we're back in action. So it starts out with the classic, or I say classic. It's not classic. It's a new thing. It's just been in every goddamn issue since issue 50, with Rick Grayson and his bae, B.
Yep.
And they're talking about life and butts and whatnot. And turn the page and I get confused. Did you read this?
I did.
Okay. Is that Barbara Gordon right there? Because if that's not Barbara Gordon, then I have an issue with the art in this. Because if you flip forward, Barbara Gordon is all up in this bitch. Like, you see this
No.
redheaded chick?
No. Barbara Gordon is at the very end in the bar. This is one of the detectives
Okay.
that has taken up the Nightwing mantle.
That's what I thought. And this is what pisses me off, is that bitch looks exactly like Barbara Gordon.
I
Because
don't think so. Not by the same artist, because if you scroll to the end with Barbara...
Yeah,
they look
no,
different.
let me do that right now. Tell me that does not look like that.
That's a fairly similar.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't
okay?
know. I can tell the
That's
difference.
you can, but obviously not every reader can't, and that's something. That's why character design is so important. Yes, they're wearing different clothes,
It's just
but
that
there's
you
been
get
no
that
indication.
One shot at that angle,
Yeah.
and then when you see Barbara Gordon later, that shot that angle links up to like, oh, well, I can totally see that with this full on.
Give
right
someone
here.
a crooked nose or something, or bangs or something. Like, give me. Yeah, you can't do this. I'm sorry, you can't do this.
Basic
That's a
bitches all
problem.
look alike.
True. Touche. But Batgirl ain't a basic bitch. So
That's true.
bam.
Neither is this lady.
Why am I talking about Batgirl? Because she has been. Oh yeah. So let me go back to why I asked who this girl was. It's not Batgirl. She's part of the Nightwing crew. So she goes to answer these questions with this other detective. He shoots her down. He was like, nah, I guess my detective ain't gonna do this. I'll be back. Comes through and wearing Nightwing gear, because we got a Nightwing team now. And she roughs this motherfucker up. So we get it. Yeah. This is why I'm confused. Because from here, don't know what's going on. The next redhead we see is Barbara Gordon. So it's just... It's weird.
I don't know. I mean, they look different enough to me. I mean, Barbara Gordon's got that.
Yeah, Barbara
sweet
Gordon's not
young
wearing
face.
a Nightwing uniform. Like,
well,
that's.
And then this other lady has like a lot more angular features.
I don't know. Okay, I'm glad that your eye catches it. Mine doesn't. So the art's good. That just confuses me. Then this is where it gets really, really good.
Yeah, we got this like Joker's daughter mask thing going on.
The daughter of Joker is back. And her name is
Bloodhaven.
Dent. That's her name. Duella Dent. She's back. And she has plans with this councilman. She's going to use him as bait. And that's exactly what she does. She uses him as bait.
Throws
And
acid on him, straps a bomb to his chest.
yeah. But the thing is this is a Nightwing book. So let's talk about the Nightwing part of this. There's a lot of not Nightwing in this book.
There's a lot of not Nightwing. But we got a lot of Grayson.
And my God, is it important. He's pretty much saying, yeah, I'll fucking fight crime again.
Yeah,
he's talking to
visiting.
Sapienza. They, like, put two and two together. Like, oh, but you were in this, and you know this, and that fight, and this fight, and you were there.
Hey,
and...
yeah, there was this rebel who has this description similar to you. Oh, yeah, well, the only people who would know that were the men who were fighting there. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say anything. If you're not going to say, I'm not going to say anything. Well, but maybe we need to call on you. Well... Maybe I will.
Maybe I'll be there after 7 issues.
Did I just agree to be a
way I'm doing
superhero
this
again?
Yeah, I don't understand the pacing, and I thought it was going very well. I'm not saying I didn't like this issue. I actually think this was the strongest issue, but it was by far the most confusing for me.
I don't know if I would say that's the strongest, but I mean,
from 50 to
Nightwing
57
has got me back on track. I'm still interested in the story. I'm still reading it.
Cool. Right on. More DC not Legion of Doom. Justice League number 18, taken over by the Legion of Doom because James Tynion IV is doing that. So, James Tynion IV is writing. Who's drawing? Pascal Ferry and Hi-Fi's coloring. So the last issue of Justice League, we got a one-on-one with Lex Luthor and Martian Manhunter and all that. And after the annual, we know that Persephone is a bad bitch and everybody wants Persephone. So in this, what we get is actually kind of cool. It was written like it should have been unexpected, but at the same time you would almost have to expect it, but it still kind of caught me by surprise. I don't know how to explain my feeling for this book. It's not negative, but it's still up in the air. So we get the Legion of Doom all gathered around trying to figure out how Persephone's going to be brought to life. She's sleeping. She needs to be woken up.
So we have a Persephone in this one and in...
Did I say Persephone? It's not Persephone. Perpetua. My bad.
Okay.
My bad.
Say, even then, I would think that Persephone would be pronounced Persephone.
That's probably what it is. Thank you. But in this book,
yeah.
Look at you and your words.
I knew there was a reason we had you along.
It's Perpetua. My bad. So she was the one behind the source wall. She's a goddess that's fucking needs a nap. She won't wake up. Brainiac and Lex Luthor put their minds together to figure out how to do this. Literally. So Brainiac puts Lex Luthor into this machine. He's like, oh yeah, your mind's gonna be coming into my body and we're gonna figure this all out together. And then he's like, ah, shit, double cross. And Lex Luthor's like, oh shit, but I saw this coming, triple cross. And that's your book.
Okay, that's the end.
Okay. This is gonna... I don't mean to sound negative here. I literally told you the whole book like that.
Okay, it's just spread out.
This is... Tynion, he's... I don't... A lot of filler, man. Like, the dude's a master of dialogue, but it's not interesting dialogue.
Well, it wasn't entertaining?
It didn't entertain me.
Okay.
It was like watching The Lord of the Rings for me. And
don't say that.
well, that's what it is.
No.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not
your
me.
flavor.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
not me.
It's not Brian Wayne.
Right.
Fair,
it's just
fair.
too much like, I'm good at words. Watch me write words that are good and intriguing, but not to everyone. And I wasn't part of them.
All right. Well, that's fair. I mean,
For someone though, because Legion of Doom, or I keep calling it Legion of Doom. Justice League is a high-selling book, and I mean, I'm still subscribed after
Justice
18
League
issues.
of Doom.
Justice League of Doom. But out of all the Legion of Doom takeovers throughout this series, this one just wasn't as strong as the last like 3. I think this is the 4th one, which is weird because it was supposed to be every 5, and here we are on issue 18, and we've got the 4th one. So it's inconsistent. They lied. They lied to us, but. It is what it is. We're still getting books. We're not canceling anything. I'm still intrigued. I'm just not super stoked on the way it's being told.
That's
the message makes me want to know what's going on. Like, I want to know who Perpetua is and all this shit. I want to see shit go down. But I don't know. I think it could be told in a different manner to make it more appealing to everybody. That's all.
That's fair.
Fair, but you never know if it's, just his passion project and him finally getting to write what he wants to write. And so, sometimes it's not about what's for everybody. It's about getting your story out there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't go out and buy it because I don't like it. Please, go out and spend your money on this book. You might like it. That is never, ever what I'm trying to... I will never say don't go out and buy this book. I'm just saying this one didn't catch me.
That's fair. I mean, and that's the whole point of listening to reviewers is you find somebody you agree with or disagree with, find their opinion, and decide.
Right.
I mean,
okay, well, I generally agree with this person. They didn't like it, maybe I wouldn't like it. Or I disagree with this person. They don't like it, maybe I would like it.
That's the same thing with beer. It's like, I may like a stout or a porter, and
Amen.
Or an IPA every now and again, and you're like, no, I strictly want to go lager.
Yeah, man, I'm all about the Germans. Yeah, no, it's no, I totally get you. It is a.
It's all taste based.
It's a game of flavor, man.
That's fair.
It's a game of
That's fair.
flavor.
And you gave your honest opinion.
Yeah, I tasted it, spit it out. It's cool. I didn't even spit it out. I chewed it up. It just didn't go down easy, is all.
You're still like, I could take another try.
Yeah, I did. I kept biting at it. I want to like it. I don't.
You order it again though.
I'm not dropping it. Yes, exactly. I'm gonna order it again. There might be another chef. Maybe the chef had a bad day.
Well, maybe it's like when you get introduced to coffee, when you're a kid, and it's like, your first time you drink coffee, you're like, this is bitter and gross, and I don't really like it. But a few cups later and a couple of different varieties, you find the one that you really enjoy, and you're like, I'm glad I stuck with this.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you might read a story that wasn't great, but it's setting up something even better.
Exactly.
And
like coffee.
Exactly. Exactly like coffee. No, and that's the whole thing. My point is I want to know who this Perpetua character is. I like the idea of what happened here. I like the message. I like the direction. I just don't like the filler in between. That's all. That's it.
So is the coffee just setting you up for a really good poop, or what are we
No.
talking here?
I think the coffee is definitely setting me up for like the further extremes of coffee, because you start out with the basic Folgers, and you're like, You try the Starbucks, and you're like, that's a little too extravagant and crazy, and then you dial back a little bit, and you find your nice.
Let me get that Zimbabwean French roast.
Yeah, that Zimbabwe or French
I don't
roast.
drink it if the
Maybe
cat
that-
didn't shit it. Right?
Maybe that Hawaiian,
What was that from? I forgot what that.
maybe that Hawaiian blue roast. You never know what you're gonna
Yeah,
get.
exactly.
But you couldn't stop with the first cup. You're like, yeah, I can tell that there's something to this, but I'm not there yet.
And I gotta say, I like my coffee like I like my night, and I like the Dark Knight.
He likes it dark.
Tell us about Batman, Brian.
Batman number 65. Joshua Williamson.
Not Tom King.
Not Tom King. Gilliam March and Tomal Moret, one of my favorite colorists ever. Also, the cover by Jeffrey Allen Love. You got Flash screaming, "No more lies at Batman," so you're automatically...
There's some conflict on the team.
Well, there is some conflict on this team. So this is part 3 of the 4-part miniseries that Williamson is writing while Tom King took a quick break. A very, very brief break. He'll be back next issue at 66. But, so we're getting this whole crossover between Flash and Batman, kind of tying into the Heroes in Crisis thing. But more than anything, the biggest antagonist all this is Gotham and Gotham Girl.
Right.
They're tracking down Gotham Girl to make sure she don't bring her brother back to life, who's bad. She is trying to develop an origin story. So that's really what this whole book is about, I guess, is Gotham's trying to give herself a cooler origin story.
Sort of.
That's literally what's mapped out with her first, like, it's...
Well, a little bit, but I mean, then
No,
it's just...
very much. Like, that's what it is. So my brother had a badass origin story, and I needed an origin story. And then it cuts to...
That's just the first few pages, and then we get Batman and Flash.
Batman and Flash working together again, but once again, you get like, oh, he's the world's greatest detective. Fuck you! You haven't saved Barry yet!
Did she go to Sanctuary?
Yeah, there's a lot of very inconsistent tones in this. Like, one second, they're like a corner away from a whack-off, like a two-way whack-off session. And then the next, they're...
That's one
No,
way to put
they're completely stroking each other inside of each other's... in their heads. Like, oh, he's the world's greatest detective. But as soon as they start talking, they're like, fuck you! Tell me everything! No more lies, Batman!
See,
and then
I don't
Batman jumps on Flash's back and is like, go faster! Go faster! Go faster! We're gonna work together! Fuck you, Batman! Like, I just don't understand the pacing of this, because that's really what it is. I'm not exaggerating. I am exaggerating, but I'm not exaggerating what
we
it
didn't
actually
really get
is.
this ego stroking in this
You're not
novel.
exaggerating beyond a reasonable comparison.
Right. And, like, seriously, like, 1 second, they're on each other's
is.
backs.
He is.
Well, look
I
at
mean,
this. He's
'cause-
on
hold
his
on.
back.
No, he's literally
Teamwork.
on his back.
Teamwork. Go faster, Barry. And then so you turn the page, and they're headbutting each other.
I mean,
So this one we don't really get the stroking of the ego like the last novel. The last one was the one.
Yeah, I would say I'm gonna
Can I
ride
get
on
a
the
word in
world's
edgewise?
fastest man's back. Like that's a lot of ego stroking. Like I'm Batman, and I'm gonna ride on
I'm gonna
your
get a
back.
piggyback from Barry.
That's
Is it not Barry in this?
No,
or
it's
is
Barry.
It's
It's
Barry.
Barry,
Okay.
yeah. There's some ego stroke. It's subtle. It's not verbal. It's subtle. It's visual, not
I
verbal.
mean, they even strictly say we can't defeat her alone. You're not going to defeat her without me. Let's work together. I will be this distraction. You run.
Right, and meanwhile, the thing that they're running from and trying to fight
If
are
it-
the
if it's
zombie versions
stroking
of Gotham
Flash's
and
ego
Gotham.
because Batman can't run as fast as the Flash. No shit.
No,
I think what he's saying is he was saying that it would be very close to here they're stroking each other, mentally, and then out loud
Last
though
issue.
they're just like fuck you, I hate you, I hate you, and I hate you. It's the internal dialogue as opposed to the external dialogue is very different.
Yes.
No, this whole time they're like, hey, we're allies, but we're having a conflict. I mean, yeah, and like, did you send her to Sanctuary? I kind of blame you for his death. And then, you lied again about who this Gotham girl is. You said that you just happened to be in the area and you saved the museum. Yeah, there's some conflict. Now, is it my favorite Batman story? No. If I wasn't reading Batman, I probably wouldn't read this. I mean, it's kind of out of nowhere. And if it wasn't for Heroes in Crisis, I really wouldn't care. But it's not a bad comic book. It's just not the story that I wanted to read.
It's not the antagonist I care about. That's the thing. It's like Gotham and Gotham Girl. Like, I'm sorry, you just didn't do a good enough job at making me want to do this. Especially with the opening page being this whole book is going to be about me creating a cooler origin story for myself.
Yeah, see, I didn't really get that. I mean, I got that for
It's literally written.
right for the first 2-3 pages. And
Right, and then once you get
not
through
brought
the
up again.
piggyback rides and headbutting and shit, then it goes
it's not ever
back.
brought up again in a 20-page book.
No, it is.
And 3 pages
Really?
out of 20 is
All we
still
really get
quite
is
a
that,
bit of
okay, well,
material.
Gotham's back. He uses up all his powers. Oh no, this hurts. Why again? And oh, I thought this time would be different. But not really anything about her origin story.
Like, I mean, Jesus, if people can complain about Stephen King spending 3 pages writing about a living room, then I can understand him, complaining about 3 pages of rewritten origin story.
But you're talking apples and oranges because that's just
Why
not
can't
what's
fruit
Be
be
compared.
Well, let's just agree to disagree. I didn't have as much angst against this book as you did. That was a fine story.
The
It just
bar's
wasn't the
high,
Batman
man.
that I
The Batman bar's high, and
wanted.
Williamson just didn't connect with me. Being that this is supposed to tie into Heroes in Crisis, literally the only tie-in you got was, did she go to Sanctuary?
and then of course Wally West dying.
Well, it's all in the same panel. Like, did you go to Sanctuary because Wally West is dead and she's probably...
No, because I think there's a guy like, well, you sent Wally to Sanctuary. Did you send her there? Did you really believe in your project?
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Fair.
So, I don't know, man. It's just... I think it's false advertising. This should not be considered a Heroes in Crisis tie-in. And because of that, and if it wasn't marked Heroes in Crisis, I would have had a 2-issue gap in my Batman run, I'm not gonna lie. Or at least 1 issue after reading 63 or 64. I wouldn't have bought 65 knowing that this is the same thing. I would have actually skipped, or I probably would have bought it just because I'm a completionist, but I wouldn't have read it. So
No.
that's...
I think it was worth reading. It just wasn't. It was one of the weaker ones this
Well,
week.
at this point, I'm 75% into this 4-part series, so I'm still gonna read you'll hear us talk about Flash next week.
Yeah, we'll see if the payout was worth it.
It better be, man. Williamson's got big shoes to fill trying to write a Batman character, and then Gotham Girl.
But see, I don't think he's writing Batman bad. It's just the overlying story that just.
It's just falsely advertises the
It's
way.
not
If
what I was
anything, I think it's
craving.
more DC's fault for whatever.
Sure.
You got any more DC books? No. Well, let's move on to Marvel.
Let's do it.
Well, we got more of the Age of X-Men. We got the amazing Nightcrawler,
Another
number
number
one.
one.
Shauna McGuire, Juan Frigeri,
All right,
Dono
so please tell me
Sanchez
this isn't
Amaro.
disappointing because I really enjoy Nightcrawler as a character.
It's not disappointing. There's just not much to talk about.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the next 4 issues will probably be a lot more fulfilling. This one right here is pretty much just establishing that Nightcrawler is an actor.
Yeah,
And he's
which
the most famous mutant.
we kind of got a glimpse at before because we had the original X-Men team and then some others,
Right.
do some heroing. And then they're talking about how is it being a famous actor and helping people? Oh, it's hard to judge the time. And then that's kind of all we get.
I feel like everything we got out of this book was already given to us in Age of X-Men. But at the same time, I'm not disappointed that I spent $5 on this book.
This is a
$4
story.
on this
This
book
is him
because
juggling
it's still
being a famous actor in this new weird timeline, and then we get an interesting story. Mutants, as we know, don't breed in the traditional sense that we know.
they're like incubated. Or,
Yeah, they're all artificially inseminated,
Yeah.
and there's no more family ties, which
there's no love or
which we get a little hint of in this one because we've got these
Right.
twins. And everybody else is behind their back. Like, can you believe them flaunting their familial connection or familial relationship? And it's just so off-putting. Oh my God, they're siblings and they're showing it off. But then we have Kurt, who is in love with his co-star, and they make love, which is illegal.
They're not supposed to do that, and that means we're gonna get the Extremis next week.
I got a question here.
Please.
Is Kurt is the acting as opposed to the circus routine? Or
No, he's a film star.
Okay, so here's the deal. In this world, after the whole Age of X-Men snap, if you will,
Okay.
it's now a mutant or a world only of mutants.
Yeah.
So everybody, it's just the rules of this planet have been rewritten. Like, there's no whatever. And so yeah, no, he's not a circus act. He is a film star.
This is
Okay.
a run.
He is George Clooney mutant. Like
Okay.
he's yeah.
These are issues running right alongside the Uncanny X-Men, where in the same snap, but for Nick
Oh shit.
Summers, instead of them all dying,
Mm-hmm.
in this alternate universe we've got mutants only, and then in this other one we've got these humans, and there's no X-Men, except there is a few X-Men, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll get to
but
that.
we still have the idea of Mystique's his mom and stuff like that. with
Mystique
her.
has not been brought into the Age
Oh,
of
really?
We haven't seen her since the.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep calling it the snap until fucking.
Until they
Ed
actually address
Brisson
it.
gives me a
And
better word.
also, everything in this world is kind of normal. They haven't really alluded to the fact that they know anything about Nick Summers doing the snap.
yeah, it's just life goes on as normal. It almost feels like years have passed by. Like
Right,
everybody's
everybody's
in their
memory is a little bit changed, and the few people who do remember are controlled.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Wow.
we haven't really got a whole lot of answers.
Do we in this world? Do we still have Azazel?
No, I don't know.
So we have not seen either of his parents.
Not that we've seen.
No.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of this is they're talking as if this may have happened generations ago.
Oh
'cause
wow. Okay.
Nature Girl even asks well, so tell me, how did they used to breed? Back mammals, as if it was so foreign to her 20-something-year-old brain.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, it's we still got 21 issues to this
All right. Well,
little event
that's
between the
exciting
5
to me.
series. So
they've been entertaining. I've enjoyed them so far.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be another one of these Marvel events that, after a couple issues, I kind of lose interest. But all the number ones have been interesting so far. So
yeah, well, I
see.
can honestly say, not to take away from anything on the inside of these books, but the best part of these number ones have been the Lee and Yuck connecting variants. I forgot to announce.
Oh no, that's hot.
Oh yeah, baby.
That's
This
really
is number 3. They're gonna do it with all number ones of the 5. So I got 2 more to go. Oh baby, this one, that's really good. The last one with Glob. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for all 5 of them to hang them up.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, it just looks weird. I'm a fucking aestheticness guy. So yeah,
Well,
this-
cool. I'm excited for that then.
Sure me.
I very much am. Very, very much. Actually, what was it? The Lee and Yuck from last week got your cover of the week. The one with Glob on
Oh
it?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fucking, what book was that? What was the title? It was the Next Gen. That was the one. Next Gen. So,
Some good art.
next week we got Extremis. We'll talk about that later. Moving along, you ready to talk about the kid with claws?
The end of this run.
Yeah, I actually thought we were going 6 issues on this, so to see it end at 5, I was like, yeah, cool, and I kind of like the way it ended. So, Return of Wolverine, I guess we could tell you what we're talking about, huh? Because,
Didn't end for long.
podcasts. Yeah, Return of Wolverine, Charles Soule, Steve McNiven. Yes, Steve McNiven, Jay Leaston, and Laura Martin. And McNiven and Sonny Go did the cover. You got Wolverine on there, falling from space with his hot claws and whatnot. So this is what we're getting. Wolverine's falling from space. And
he's finally fighting Persephone.
Persephone, as you would say.
He's come onto her spaceship. He's been looking for answers. He finally gets to meet her face to face.
Turns out she's been in his face the whole frickin' time, man.
She's been controlling dead people, and she has a plan to destroy the world. She can, if she kills everybody, she can control everybody. There'll be peace among the earth.
And apparently, it was her whole idea to allow Logan to come back somehow. There's definitely something I'm missing.
Yeah,
so
we
this is allowing Logan to come back. Is this in the X-23 storyline?
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is Logan. He was dead, but then apparently he's been brought back by Persephone and controlled. But now he's kind of back in the control of himself.
But is he? Because you see all of the, I say that very, very loosely. He is in control of himself, but there's something that was alluded to in, like, issue number 1 or 2 that wasn't touched on again.
Yeah, jail cell in his mind.
All of the different versions of himself.
These are all Logans or pieces of Logan that have been locked away by Persephone to control him.
And the whole time, Berserker Wolverine still just wants out, man.
Yep.
And finally, he's like, if you let me out, we got this. We got this.
Yep.
Let me out. Come on, Bob.
He finally does.
Very much how Wolverine
well, it
was
looks like
when
he opens all the cells except for Berserker. Like, that's the cool thing.
But doesn't he later on?
I believe he does, but it's just cool how they like.
Oh, no,
you see
definitely,
that panel where you, like, all the cells open. You got all the different Wolverines. You got the Mutant X, and you got Old School, and fucking all that shit. And then meanwhile, you still got Berserker, and they're going, Bub, come on, Bub,
Bub, come on, let me out, Bub. Yep.
I just think that's cool.
It's very Wolverine. I mean, it's very true to character. Yeah.
It is. And then so he falls from space.
Well, he destroys the whole space station, and everybody's like, "Well, but you'll kill us too." I plan to, and then destroys it. He falls to Earth. He heals, and then we end with him
walking up to the X Mansion. Correct.
To be continued.
To be continued.
That's cool.
But not in the Return of Wolverine.
No. In our next book. And it very specifically says, make sure you don't read this next book until you read the latter.
Yep.
Wolverine Infinity Watch number 1. Jerry Duggan, Andy McDonald, and Jordi Belair, covered by Giuseppe Camuncoli, Roberto Poggi, and Dean White. So this takes place directly after the events of Return
right after
Wolverine number 5.
We get
so
Wolverine. Yeah, we get Wolverine walking up to the X Mansion.
Hey, look at that!
Cool. Okay.
Gotta love how that works.
So,
out.
direct continuation of the last thing you were
Exactly.
talking about.
Yeah,
That's
man.
nice.
He knocks on the door, and just like you would expect,
Jean Grey's there.
Jean Grey.
Oh, it's good to see
Yeah,
you.
little-
Big hug.
and then stab in the guts.
Yep. Logan does the whole
was-
sniff thing. Damn it.
Yep.
And stabs him. He knows it's not Jean. He's got extra senses. Illusions don't have different sense.
Illusions. Yeah.
And who is the master of illusion, Brian?
Houdini. Or Loki. My bad. Loki.
Yeah, no, sorry. Houdini was the master of escape.
Same thing. David Blaine. Loki. So, he's there pretty much like explaining the events of that Infinity Wars event that we spent so much time telling you about. And Logan doesn't remember any of this.
Yeah. Loki says, well, you sent me to look for the stone people.
Yeah. And Logan's like, well, I don't know.
Wasn't me, bub.
Wasn't me. In the meantime, we get a character we haven't heard from in a bit, but definitely came up in the Infinity Wars.
Hot Claws!
Well, as of now, Hot Claws is a thing with regular Logan. But now we got Phoenix Force Logan, who strolls up looking like Negan fuck Terminator and became...
Negan Ghost Rider meets Wolverine.
It's great. So, and the reason why I say Negan is because of the sweet baseball bat, and the reason why I say Terminator is
Leather
because
jacket.
of the fucking, well, not just the leather
Slits
jacket.
back hair.
What do they call the thing? The bandolier. But it's not a bandolier of, like, grenades. It's fucking beers, bro.
Yeah, it
Fucking beer. Cheers to that, Brian.
Fucking beers, man. For sure. And yeah, so then we get the introduction of regular ass Logan. Means Phoenix Force Logan. With Loki trying to explain shit to him, and meanwhile you got Loki trying to deal with 2 Logans in the same room, so he's a little overwhelmed.
Wolverines.
Like the chemistry is actually written perfectly because we got a room full of alphas, and no one knows who to alpha. So I don't know.
So it could turn into a Mexican standoff at any point.
Totally, dude. Totally. But really what we're getting here is pretty much Logan's getting the 401 on where all the Infinity Stones are at. And he's like, so Adam Warlock went when he spread out all the stones after that
he
big
put them
thing.
inside people.
Yeah, no, they gave him all a stone, or a soul. I mean, so all the stones have a personality, I guess. But in order for that to happen, they need a vessel, is what I take out of this. And the first and only example we get out of that is one of those issues in there. We get the Time Stone flying into a prison, and he takes over. What's his name? Like something.
Hector Bendito.
Batista.
Batista.
Yeah, Hector Batista. And we haven't heard from him since, until now, where we get what seems to be the antagonist of the story. What's his face? Warbringer. He wants them stones, and he wants them hard. And he knows where to look.
And
that's
who does he have in tow? One of the Nova Corps.
Oh, yeah, no, he totally has like a Nova Corp dude. And he's like, tell me everything. And he's like, I'll tell you everything. So yeah, no, and this Warbringer, he's one of the Chitauri. Is that Chitauri? I can never say that. Chitauri, I think is the name.
Yeah, Chitauri.
Yeah,
I think that's so.
So yeah, he's a badass, and he wants the stones, and so yeah, no, he gets the information, and so far the only information we have is to the whereabouts of at least one of these stones is this prison. So it's only natural that's where he goes first, but we won't see that until later, because that's where the book ends.
That's right.
So go ahead.
I think you are missing one valuable little piece.
Probably. I did that rundown justice.
I think we might be seeing the first appearance of a powerful relic. Maybe. I could be wrong, but correct me. Right here on this page, it says, I got stuff to do. Here's a nice piece of oak for you. Time battle come handy up against your enemies. Now, is he giving Logan a time bat?
Well,
or is he saying there'll be a time when a bat will come in handy? Because if it's a time bat, that's really fucking cool.
Let me see the context of this.
Like if you could literally knock them into yesterday.
That's something Logan would do.
I mean, if you
now here's what
if you could whack their mama into tomorrow, like that's a badass bat.
It is, but here's what makes me kind of not think that it's actually a time bat.
No, I think it's actually a time bat because the way
there's no comma there.
No, but it's the apostrophe between the bat and the LL for the battle.
Bat will.
Yeah,
time bat will.
It seems like he's honestly saying this time bat will come in handy.
I think so. I think so.
I hope that's what it is.
I
but
hope so.
As far as color schemes go, as we know in the past, when the movie came out, they didn't exactly stay 100% true to how the original Infinity Stones were color appropriated. Now, at this point, we know that the Time Stone is green based off of what we've seen. So I feel like they're trying to come back into that.
The stones are spread out. I don't think this is based off the Infinity Stones. I think this is a Wolverine who has been in the future, who has the Phoenix Force, who has come back into time. I think he has new forces, new abilities, new resources.
I don't know.
Man, I hope so. I hope so.
Very much like what Justin's saying.
Like I don't disagree.
That
I'm just
was
trying
my
to lay
most exciting
out
takeaway from this whole book.
That's so cool, man. Awesome. I am just like anytime I see Phoenix Force Wolverine now, I get
such a cool
excited.
character.
Oh yeah,
and that he's so like calm and collecting Logan about
A
it.
bandolier of beers? Are you fucking kidding me?
Amen.
Dude, so I want to see that cosplay at a fucking Comic-Con,
Right.
man.
Comic books, man.
Just set yourself on fire, carrying a whole bunch of beers, and boom, you got the perfect cosplay. Do not set yourself on fire. Jesus Christ, you fucking idiots. Hulkverines.
Well, damn it! I was about 5 seconds away.
I know, that's why I had to say it.
This was an interesting book.
Oh boy, I like how you said that, because I'm gonna say this was an interesting book. Hulkverines #1, Greg Pak, Ario Andito, Moray Hollowell, and Andrew Crossley. Greg Land and Frank D'Armata did the cover.
What a cover.
What a cover. So for the longest time, I mean like a year and a half, we've been waiting for this to happen. Since the introduction of Clay as Weapon H, which is, for those who aren't familiar, the mashup of a Hulk and Wolverine.
Yeah, it's Weapon X.
Hence the name of the title, Hulkverine. So, Weapon H's ongoing is no longer ongoing and ended at 12. He's back out of world, doing his thing.
Trying to hide.
Trying to hide. That's his biggest thing, is he's trying to hide. He's trying to keep his family safe. His family knows what's up. We get our antagonist, who's introduced in jail, and he's being interviewed by this detective or whatever, and he doesn't last long. Not at all. And, I should probably mention who our antagonist is. It's the leader. He's hell-bent on killing the Hulk. That's all he wants to do, is kill the Hulk.
Yep. Super genius.
He's a super genius based on the size of his cranium and whatnot. But he's also extremely fucking just gruesome on account of this next page.
He looks
because
like a
I have
green,
never
angry Peter Dinklage.
It's true. I have never, ever seen this kill in all of anything ever in media. I have never seen anybody killed by being stabbed in the eye with a single rolled up piece of paper.
Yep.
And goddamn, that's what he does.
They even hint in the beginning, because this agent who's talking to him, that hands him the paper, has a single paper clip on the paper. It's like, oh, you have any metal on you? Oh, it's just a paper clip. Nope, too dangerous. Yep. So, I mean, like, they show that, yeah.
He can make a weapon out of practically anything.
Look at that, dude. That's just through the fucking eye with a fucking piece of paper,
and
man.
Look at the scene before him, because he hands him the paper, and just see how he just so casually rolls up the paper.
This is like if Marvel was like, give us Hannibal Lecter. Give us Hannibal Lecter. And they were like, no, you can't have him. They're like, all right, bitch, we'll make our own.
This is Marvel flexing.
It is. And then after that, you get all that fucking gruesome. Oh, it's not even that. After he stabs him with one of the sheets of paper, he has another one. So as the guard comes in to help, he slides out the piece of paper, and the guard slips on it and breaks his fucking neck. He kills 2 people with 2 pieces of paper in 2 different ways. Tell me that's not just badass. That is brilliant imagination coming from a writer. That's a writer doing that. That didn't just fucking happen. That's not the leader doing shit. That is Greg Pak making the leader do shit. Yeah. And to some people that may be obvious, but to those who may not necessarily appreciate comics and the creatorship and the magnitude that we do, that's what that is.
Well, I think what stands out right there is you don't see that kind of creativity in the kill very often. What's very often to do is take what's built upon with an existing character's abilities and just, we'll try to make something that it's been done before, but we're going to try to do it in a new way. And that's something I've never seen done before.
This is awesome. And if that's not enough, you cut to the next page, which is a full page spread of the Hulk throwing the Hell Charger with Robbie Reyes attached to it onto a Hulkbuster with Black Panther and Captain America coming up behind. Meanwhile, you got Thor laid out, just Zing out, fucking knocked out on a rock. So we get the Hulk. And that's awesome. That's really just what you get out of that. It's just like the Hulk flexing, like showing that the Hulk is relevant. He's doing things. He's
unbeatable.
Yeah, he's after some shit. Meanwhile, then we flash to Clay, who's reiterating his hidingness. Need to hide.
Hanging out with the family.
Got secrets. Blah blah blah. Gotta keep you all safe. We all know what's up. So we get a few pages of that. It's very well written dialogue. So when he goes out to do his I don't even know what the proper word is. He's out in the woods, separated from his family.
They have Plan C because he got
Plan
sick.
C, thank you. Yes,
he's got the X weapon in him. Like, he can't get sick. He heals instantly.
And it's not
something's up.
And I think it's funny that they say he gets sick, and they just constantly do this chew thing. And like part of me thinks like this is kind of hand-fisted a little bit. Like it's really drawn in, but then it like totally comes all together.
Right.
Total payoff.
Right.
They like you get this brilliant writing in the beginning, and you get like this. What's with the Achu stuff? Like, who cares that Weapon H has a cold?
Well, let me tell you, Brian.
Tell me, Justin.
So Clay goes off in the woods. He's confronted by a Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner wants to talk to him. Bruce Banner says that he's gonna stop him. He knows who he is. He's gonna defeat him.
And then the sun goes down.
He does.
That sucks.
And we get the Achu, and like, wait a minute. Banner knows you shouldn't be sick. Wait a minute, I can help you. And, you help me? I thought you wanted to kill me.
Because
so
we know that Hulk has this new power of, like,
Right.
being able to retract and give gamma radiation. Like,
Exactly.
that's a new established power that the Hulk has.
And the leader knows that. So we have Hulk and we have Weapon H fighting each other now.
Oh my god, this 2-page spread is so good.
Yeah,
I didn't poop, I promise.
Hulk versus Weapon H is just... Is this whole Animorph just changing?
Animorph, what a great
the two of them
fucking
coming together.
description,
Man,
dude.
so good.
I forgot about Animorphs.
Oh, dude, this is a slobber knocker, man. And it's a constant slobber knocker. Just slobber knock, slobber knock, slobber knock. And then we get the leader just like chilling, watching from a distance like, oh, this is great. I love this. Clay's going to be the guy to take out Hulk. Hulk ain't going to be a thing no more. And then...
but the leader explains... oh, well, I infected Weapon H because I know that the Hulk can absorb gamma radiation.
So he's expecting...
Therefore, he's going to steal his illness. And now he has infected the Hulk. He has figured out a way to kill the Hulk.
So, alright, for a title as, like, hand-fisted as Hulkverines.
Yep.
And a antagonist like the leader. This is some of the best writing in a single story as far as, like, diabolical plotness
They're
goes.
definitely on like that diabolical 3D chess mindset.
And it's good. It's none of it feels like, oh god, this is rushed. This is perfect pacing for a 20-page story.
Yep, this is a very entertaining read front to cover.
It is. And my panel of the week goes to when Clay actually confronts, I almost called him Sinestro, the leader. And leader's like, oh shit!
Starts running
and
away.
he literally whoop, and he like throws these bombs and like, come back here. It's like on top of all of this action, we get this brilliant cartooniness. Like it reminded me of like Cartoon Network back in the day when it was the shit for a '90s kid. Like that's the type of feeling I got from this page here. What the
Really?
He's just on the writer's whim of this is what happens.
And this is not usually a Greg, like, from everything I've read. Well, I take that back. It's not everything I read from Greg Pak, because he did Totally Awesome Hulk as well, which was the Amadeus Cho Hulk story. Mm-hmm. And it had its very funny moments like that. So I guess I do retract that statement. So yes, this is reminiscent of the Amadeus Cho type of Hulk, without it coming from Bruce Banner Hulk. We get it from the villain. We get the funniness from the villain,
right,
in a way. And, I mean, if you can at least chuckle at, no matter what the panel is, seeing Weapon H, a Hulkverine, and every scenario, that's somewhat giggleable. That's great, man. It was the combination that you think would have happened a long time ago.
Craziness of comic books.
It is. And, well, fucking, what's his face? The leader's running away from all this.
He runs into...
We get Logan in this bitch! So, yes.
Logan heavy week.
So we did not see Weapon H, Banner, and Logan fight in here like the cover would portray, but you wouldn't think that would happen so soon. I like that they actually did throw in an antagonist in this. The fact that it's someone left field like the leader is perfect. This is perfect. Oh my god, they did such a good job. I can't wait for issue 2. It's only going to be 3 parts, so it's not a big...
It's going to be entertaining.
Commitment, but oh man, I am so entertained by this book. I did not think...
Yeah, the plot development sounds really entertaining.
It really is. So, let's move along. We talked earlier about death threats and whatnot, so I guess we can elaborate on that just a little bit more.
Please do.
Oh, I will. I know how much you like death threats, Mason. Venom number 11, Legacy 176. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, J.P. Mayer, and Frank Martin. The cover by all three of them guys again, Stegman, Mayer, and Martin. That's just a picture of Venom, to be honest. We haven't seen him in a while, on account of all the weirdness that's been happening. But this is good weirdness. So we know or we think we know, and just take those words literally. We think we know Eddie has a little brother.
Yep.
And he's like, Daddy beats me. We need to beat up
kill
Dad.
him. Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are now.
Well, but then we have Eddie Brock passing out and people telling him that he has cancer. It came back.
Yeah. And so without going through, and really there's no way of describing this with any type of credibility without going panel for panel. So forgive me when I say that really it just all comes out that everything we thought we knew about Venom and the relationship between him and Eddie is not true.
Which is actually the logical movement to make as a writer.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
I agree. You're not going to kill Donny Cates, I could tell.
How this does come about, though, we've got the maker, Mr.
The
Reed
maker,
Richards.
right? So when Eddie passes out in the alley after he almost beats up his little brother, quote unquote. I'll get back to that. He gets taken to the hospital, and it just so happens that the maker is the doctor. How coinkadinkadle is that?
Yeah.
Pretty coinkadinkadle. That's a new word. So that's what's going on. Meanwhile, Maker doesn't like Eddie. He doesn't like Venom. He doesn't like the whole thing. He's the guy that's trying to get the dragon symbiote all together and all that shit. And yeah. So long story short, we reveal that Venom, or the symbiote, Eddie never had cancer this whole time.
He never had a sister.
He never had a sister. Venom was implanting these false memories into Eddie's head the whole time because he was
pulled an Alan Moore on us.
He wanted to make him dependent on Eddie because Venom needed Eddie.
He was afraid that Eddie would have left him.
Yep.
And that's really what it comes down to. So, why is this such a big deal? I don't know. This is great. This is a cool arc in the story. This is a big okay, a lot of this makes sense now, but why does this warrant death threats? Because there's no longer a quote-unquote ship between Venom and Eddie?
Oh, surprise, surprise that a fucking alien parasite is using a person.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's a symbiote, but let's be fair. It's a fucking parasite.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a parasite.
If I can just say one thing, have you been following Donny Cates' Twitter at all this week?
I have. Usually it's him just telling people stop sending me ideas because I can't read them.
Right. Well, there was this person sent him this hateful message saying, I hate that you're writing the story, blah, blah, blah. You seem to only hate this character. That's why you're trying to ruin his story.
What the fuck?
And Donny Cates just replied back, yeah, I've dedicated my entire writing career for the dream of ruining Venom because I hate him.
Yeah.
No. That's the perfect response. That's what I fucking
This is a man who knows the Venom story and is able to enrich that.
As somebody that is I have personally sat down and talked, I wasn't sitting, to Donny Cates and picked his brain after the release of issue number 1 of his Venom. And the dude could not be more excited about this character. He was gushing. And not oh, look at me, I'm writing Venom. Gushing is in holy shit, I'm writing Venom.
Yeah, holy fuck, I'm at the helm of Venom.
And based off the interaction I had with him, to think not for a microsecond did I think that this guy's intentions were to ruin this character. Because he flat out said, get ready for some game-changing, fun shit. Marvel has not said no to me yet. This is going to be amazing. This is not ending anytime soon.
And I'm happy about that.
And a lot of people, because I guess after issue 12, people are like, oh my god, he's not writing Venom for a couple issues. Well, he is. He's writing the Venom tie-in to War of the Realms. A 3-part. So yeah, he's gonna get like the Tom King treatment. He's gonna go over and write the Venom 3-part War of the Realms miniseries while someone takes over Venom for a couple issues. To my understanding, I can't say for certain, but that's what I get out of all of this. So no, a lot of people also doubt his ability to do an ongoing run. Well, here we are at issue 11 now. It's still going. Issue 11 has never been a stopping point for a hot-selling book.
Still keeping me on the edge of my seat
This
every issue.
And it's just more and more. And that's not it. That's not all there was to this. And I kept saying I'm going to get back to this quote-unquote, brother thing. Turns out this brother of his is not his brother. It's, in fact, his son. Eddie Brock has a son.
What?
Yes, and he's been raised by Grandpa this whole time, abusive Grandpa, because of the spite for his son.
Death threats. I want to send Donnie Cates a wedding ring.
Aw, that's cute. I'll marry you guys. He's got a pretty smoking fiance though, so I think he's yeah.
You got competition.
You got some competition, bro.
It's all right. I'm all right with polygamy.
I have a feeling as weird as he is, he might be too.
Moving on.
Moving on, indeed. Sorry. Miles Morales, not sorry about this one. Miles Morales, Spider-Man #3, Legacy 243, Saladin Ahmed, Javier Garron, and David Curiel. So finally, we're getting issue 3 of this book. I feel like it's taken forever. And the reason why it feels like it's taken forever is because of the amazing cliffhanger it left us off at, which was Captain America teaming up with Miles Morales, who is already teaming up with my favorite Spider-Man rogue villain, Rhino. I could just stop right there. I know.
Yeah, stop right there. Don't tell me
combo.
That's really what this book is. These guys are going through trying to find Miles's potential girlfriend's nephew who has been mind controlled by a bad guy.
Rhino's niece.
And Rhino's niece. So
Okay.
that's how they found each other. They're just trying to help each other out. Those two ain't got no beef between each other, never have. So they're perfectly fine with teaming up. Miles is he's like, but Peter. And he's like, dude, Rhino, I ain't got no beef with you, kid. And then Captain America.
This is all about the niece.
Exactly. He just wants to save his niece.
Well, and that's I like that when they give the real human side to villains.
And that's what I like the most about this, because I truly believe in the bottom of my heart that Rhino, because of this issue, might go from villain to anti-hero. And that would make me so happy.
That's like
definitely
switching
possible.
over to DC. That's like one of the things that Mr. Freeze always had the capability to do because of his origin and his background. He always had the ability to be, because of that real human side to him, to become anti-hero.
That's very true. But I can't say he never. I never really read the story where Mr. Freeze became an anti-hero.
I'm just saying he always had that potential.
And this, Rhino is the anti-hero. No, I can't even say, he is the hero in this. And there's reservations between Cap and Miles when they first, the beers are kicking in, guys. I apologize.
They're working.
They're working hard. But when Rhino first meets up with Cap's like, oh, you're a bad guy. And Rhino's like, but I ain't done no bad lately. And then all Miles has to do is be like, check it out. From what I understand, I can't say for 100% sure, but from what I gather, I think he's all right. And Cap literally is like, that's good enough for me. Which is cool. And the reason why this is a little bit more cool than it may seem from the outside, I'm going to go back to Civil War II. And the last time that we saw Miles and Captain America on a panel together was in Civil War II. And the whole thing of the story was the mutant, or Inhuman Ulysses, who had the capability of seeing the future, predicted Miles Morales killing Captain America on the steps of the Capitol. And that never actually happened. And because of the way Miles...
Yeah, because that was supposed to be Civil War II, but I didn't know that was supposed to be Miles Morales.
It was Miles Morales,
Holy
who's
crap.
supposed to kill Captain America. So that becomes the first prediction.
I thought it was whatever his girlfriend was at the time, brainwashed by Hydra.
Nope. So that became the first prediction that Ulysses had that was false, which then turns the whole story backwards into maybe this guy isn't everything he says he is, and blah, blah, blah. So that is the last time you see those two, and I've been reading Marvel since, and I have not seen it. I will almost go as far as to guarantee this is the first time you see these two on panel together since that thing, and it's fucking sweet. So yeah, moving along. Besides all of that fucking wondrousness, we actually do get the first appearance of a new villain. We get the Snatcher. And long story short, he has the ability to control people's minds, makes them do things. It's easier to do it with kids because they have smaller minds. And his downfall becomes the fact that he's trying to focus on too many minds at once. He falters.
Yeah, he's trying to control Cap, but Cap's resistant and taking all of his concentration.
Yeah, every time he's like, oh, now I'm going to go to this, I'm going to focus on Rhino. And you got fucking Miles coming in, whooping some ass and everything. It's just like this, he can't, if it were just Miles and... Having Cap come in as the trio really is the make or break factor of how this ends.
Miles, Rhino, Cap. That's just such a combination I didn't expect to see at all.
But if it were Miles and Cap, it didn't work. If it were Rhino and Cap, it didn't work.
No.
If it were Rhino and Miles, it doesn't work. It needs to be all three.
Triangle works
because that's just so much mind power. The Snatcher can't handle it.
I think Miles and Cap would be an interesting combo for at least an issue or two.
Yeah, I just don't know if they would have handled this as much. Like, he even goes as far as to, like, he makes all the kids, like, turn guns on themselves and shit. Like, it's brutal. Like, at first you might think, like, oh, this is a cutesy little fun kid's story.
Right.
Nah. As soon as the Snatcher comes in, dude, as soon as the Snatcher comes in, I hope this is actually an ongoing villain, because he seems pretty nasty.
He's a good B villain.
But, long story short, the heroes prevail. And it's really just a great fucking Miles story.
Agreed?
It is. It's a great Spider-Man
Miles
story.
has just become far better of a character than I ever expected him to be in the beginning.
He's my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
definitely a fucking great Spider-Man.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. He's not my... I mean, I'm not saying he's not my favorite.
He's my favorite, but he's definitely a great fucking Spider-Man.
I actually gotta say that Otto is my new favorite Spider-Man. Superior Spider-Man's my new favorite.
I see. For me, like Miles is definitely like on Clash with Spider-Man Noir.
Fuck yeah.
I really like Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah.
You know, that's he's almost Spider-Man Noir is like if Miles.
Dead. Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't he dead in in the Spider-Apocalypse now?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He is. Speaking of heroes, we actually have a fourth member of the podcast joining us late. We've got our buddy Jeremy. All up in say hi, Jeremy.
Hello, everybody.
Jeremy likes comics.
Jeremy also likes beer.
Jeremy likes beer too, and that's what we do. We do comics
and comics.
Beer. Yes,
we drink and we read things.
Yes, we drink and we.
You'll have to
that's
have
what
Jeremy
we do.
on here sometime to talk with you about the Walking Dead comics.
Yes, that is definitely something that's going to happen because he knows more about the Walking Dead comics than anybody I know. So, yes, that's yes. Jeremy also likes Spider-Man. And I'm just gonna say that. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #3, Legacy numbering 27. Tom Taylor, Juan Cabal, and Nolan Woodard. Covered by Andrew C. Robinson. That fucking cover is amazing. I love. It's like if Spider-Man and Terminator 2 Judgment Day, like.
I can see that.
That's a nice baby. I can see it.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he's. The equivalent of a thumbs up for Spider-Man falling in lava would be a thwip. And that's what we get here. Yep. So the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man story is Tom Taylor's take on just your local, again, what is he, Brooklyn Spider-Man. Queens. No, Brooklyn. Oh, it's Brooklyn. I don't know. One of the boroughs. There's 3 more to name, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those 2. So anyways... we know that these little kids have been left in the custody of Johnny Storm while Peter goes out to face this orange-faced feller that the rumor came in and just knocked the fuck out. Meanwhile, rumor's like, hey, I'll take you where all these orange-faced people are. We're gonna go into this, like, weird sewer elevator.
And rumor was that, like, old... neighbor, right?
Yeah, she was the one who's like, oh, help me carry my groceries, son. Turns out she knew who Peter Parker as Spider-Man was the whole time just because she's an observant bitch. And she's old. She's been around the block. So she takes him to Under New York. And Under New York is New York under. And that's really what it is. So, she's I forget what her purpose is down here. She's showing him the Orange Men. Oh, she's going to retrieve what's her name? The lady that left the kids. Lilani. So yeah, because they took her. So that's what it was. Yeah, they go to retrieve her, and in the midst of them saving this and all of that, Peter gets shot in the gut.
Dun dun dun. And
this is where we get like the true, holy shit, this is a very human, badass type of superhero. The only way to get out of the situation is to climb 3 miles to the surface of the earth with Rumor and Lilani on his back while he's bleeding out. And he does that.
Holy
and
fuck.
He gets them to the surface, and meanwhile they're like, all right, well, we escaped the orange face people. I don't really remember what they're called, but they do refer to them as orange face people quite a bit. And Rumor's like, well, for now, I'm sure they'll be coming again. Foreshadowing. But in the meantime, we kind of get a happy ending here, and just showing this is really a classic, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man story for these first 3 issues, and I think we got the end of our first arc from this. Tom Taylor does an amazing job. His fun banter, like there's a lot of fun panels in this. There's a lot of deep, heavy panels in this. This is fucking all around great. It's the perfect Spider-Man book. There's a lot of perfect Spider-Man books because there's so many different.
Spider-Man.
There's a lot of Spider-Man.
There's a lot of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Doctor Strange number 11, Legacy 401, Mark Waid, Jesus Saez, and Rachel Rosenberg. And the cover was also done by Jesus Saez. This series is really starting to pick up now. It left off last time with Dormammu and his Fall Teen people invading. In the meantime, we get a dialogue between Strange and Dormammu, pretty much going back and forth, trying to take each other down a notch. Like, oh, you're not this good because of that, and you're not that good. It's actually pretty cool dialogue. I couldn't do it any justice, so I'm just gonna shit on it. But in the meantime, all of his party, if you will, Wong and Kana and Zelma, who all have their own place in this party, are out trying to seek the knowledge that was extracted from the Ancient One that took place in the last issue. Remember, they pulled out a piece of his brain. That's the Ancient One's knowledge. That's why blah, blah, blah. So they find it, and they realize that when you actually... with this type of magical knowledge, if it's not learned and it's discovered, then it's poisoned. So these 3 possess this knowledge, but they're poisoned. So they take it to Dormammu, and it's weak and all that. And just as you think that everyone's about to falter, Ancient One shows up, and he was like, oh shit, learned it again, bitch. And I'll let you see what happens from there. It's good stuff, though. Heroes win, but in a cool way. And then the teaser is probably the most exciting part of this, the teaser to the next issue, because you see a fucking piece of Galactus's face. Doctor Strange versus Galactus just sounds pretty incredible.
That sounds really fun.
It does. The first 8 issues of this wasn't where I would hope a Doctor Strange comic would be, but these last 3, this arc with the Dormammu and all that, fucking banter's on point, story's intriguing, and it leads me to want to read more. So based off of my little Doctor Strange rundown with Jeremy being a new guy to the podcast and all, does that sound like something you'd be into, man?
Yeah, dude.
I know that you're probably... Actually, I don't think I'd be into Doctor Strange as much as I am if it wasn't for your anticipation for the Doctor Strange movie when it came out. Like, I remember your hype for it, and I was like, maybe I should see what's up with Doctor Strange. That's why I've been like, I hate to say it, I've been grinding through 8 issues of this new series, and it's been worth it because it's awesome. But just based off of how I've described the whole Dormammu thing and all of that shit, is that something you'd be into? Is that the Doctor Strange?
Great. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, dude, it is. And I'd give you 8 through 11, this 3-issue thing. And if you like Dormammu, this is great because it's not the Dormammu that you would think. He's very self-loathing in a way, almost self-loathing, but at the same time very confident in himself. It's weird. It's a cool Dormammu though.
That sounds cool, man.
For sure. Oh, man. Oh, shit. Donny Cates back at it. Guardians of the Galaxy #2, Legacy numbering 152. Drawn by Jeff Shaw and Marte Garcia. Colored this bitch. This motherfucker right here. So we know that this is a half-ass Guardians crew. This is not our typical Guardians. Jeremy, you're not aware. Guardians have pretty much just been dismantled as of recently. Gamora, she a bad bitch. She went and killed Thanos, and now she's on the run and loose.
She's one of the baddest.
She is the baddest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we get issue 2 of this ragtag new Guardians team, which is like Phyla-Vell and Moondragon, which is Drax's daughter. Quill's running the bitch as normal. We get a badass punk rock version of Groot. We get Rocket Raccoon and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Yes. And best part. Wildcard Beta Ray Bill. Yes, he's a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Beta Ray Bill is pretty great. That's cool.
Oh my god. So, look at this panel right here. And tell me this is not the best thing in comics this week. This one right here. I am Stab.
Okay,
I am
that's-
Stab.
Dude,
I am Stab.
Groot's mohawk.
Groot's punk ass
Yeah, he's been carving the spikes into himself.
That's
fucking
cool.
great.
So that gets my panel of the week. I'm going to go ahead and just like save the fucking time on that one. So what's causing all of this? Well, Quill is in this drunken, like, I don't know what to do with my life type of thing. I don't know what to do about
He
Gamora.
was
Everybody's
killed
everybody
by Gamora.
Yeah, he was actually killed by Gamora. Everybody's after Gamora, but he still has faith. And it seems like the party is pretty split on this as well. It seems like most of the party is in the favor of trying to give Gamora a second chance.
Mhm.
But Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is an alternate version of Frank Castle in the future,
Become Ghost Rider.
with the Spirit of
Wait,
Vengeance,
Frank
who becomes
Castle
that.
Ghost Rider?
Yes,
Yes,
he
that's
becomes
awesome.
he becomes the father of Thanos at one point, the Herald of Galactus, and also the Herald of Thanos in another reality. So Cosmic Ghost Rider, like he's been created by
He
Donny
killed
Cates,
Thanos, went back in time, kidnapped
Raised
baby
baby-
Thanos,
baby
raised
Thanos.
him, and then decided that was also not a good idea.
Yeah. So just for Jeremy, I know who's not familiar with this character, he's one of the greatest new characters created, and it's just
Written by Donny Cates.
Donny Cates. But yeah, so he's disagreeing with Groot, and Beta Ray Bill's trying to get in the middle of all this. Meanwhile, we got a bunch of little mini Groots trying to, help out Big Groot. So yeah, anyways, they come in and we realize that Frank's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. Casino clap. And, cause podcasting.
Wash hands.
Yes, wash hands. And so yeah, they he's like, I'm going after Gamora. Meanwhile, Quill's like, well, I'm really the only one who knows where Gamora's at, so I'm not really worried about it. Cause who is it that comes to him with this concern? I think it's Beta Ray Bill, or Groot comes to him with this concern. He's like, you and I are the only ones that truly know Gamora's location, so I'm not worried about Frank or Cosmic Ghost Rider going out and finding her. No one's gonna find her. And so then you realize that Frank goes to team up with the Shi'ar, who we later find out to become the the Church of whatever, and Old Man Quill we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
So the Shi'ar play it's gonna be they're doing shit. Meanwhile, they're after Gamora, but only because they want to kill her ass.
Yep.
And then at the same time, we have what's her name, Hela, leading the Black Order, trying to they bomb in the
Thanos'
last
body.
issue. They bombarded the Guardians and got Thanos' body, but his head's missing. They're trying to bring back Thanos. Now, to kind of recap just a bit, the whole plot of this thing is Thanos and his will. During his will reading, he reveals that he's uploaded his consciousness in a mystery body.
Yep.
So
And
that's why
another
everyone's
vessel.
after Gamora, because everyone
course.
automatically assumes it's going to be Gamora on account of all the bad shit she just did in the Infinity War
Yeah.
shit, and her missingness and whatnot. So that if that didn't make sense, hopefully that makes a little more sense.
So the selling point for me on this one was the very end when they're talking about like, well, yeah, we have to find Gamora, And Hella's like, oh, well, it's not Gamora we have to worry about. It's that fucking boyfriend of hers.
I
And
forget.
then, so we turn the page thinking, oh, it's going to be Quill, right?
Yep.
Nope. Nova.
Richard motherfucking Ryder Nova. OG Nova in this motherfucker. Gang signs Nova, because that's how hardcore he is. Because fucking podcasting.
Not what I was expecting.
No.
I mean, fair, not what I expected either, but I don't think it warranted all of that. But who am I to say?
Hype,
Science
dog.
Nova.
Richard Ryder in this motherfucker. Dude. Ugh, Donny Cates. All those people trying to kill Donny Cates, you're ruining comics. I you know what? I'm gonna go in right now. PSA. I will stand fucking bodyguard. I am a part of the cult that is the Donnie's Advocates.
He is your
Or
dark
Hell's
lord.
Advocates. Hell's Advocates. That's his actual cult that he started. And I am a full-blown member of the Hell's Advocates.
Is this an actual cult that
This
he
is.
started, or is
Yes.
this what you think he started?
No, this is an actual cult. This is, you could look this up.
First thing on his Twitter
Hell's
profile
Advocates.
is cult leader.
Okay.
Yeah. And this just started about 3 weeks ago, and I was one of the first to join. I drank the Kool-Aid, and I'm on board. And all you motherfuckers, if you guys got to go through Denver or Golden or any part of Colorado to try to kill Donny Cates, I'm gonna be right there to take a bullet. Fucking, this guy is taking comics to a whole new level that is fun. It's fun. It's mind-bending. It's fuck you-ish. It's creating these characters, taking what we think we know about all these solid characters, and making it so much more interesting than we ever thought it could be. You could tell that nobody in comics loves their job more than Donny Cates.
Like, there are 10 times worse things that have happened in comics that I don't see half the reaction right there. Like, fucking death threats towards the fucking author.
It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. But you
know me, I'm against the whole SJW comics movement. So, like, if that's not warranting death threats, like me, I'm following the whole Kick Vic movement that's happening right now. There's a lot of things happening in different media forms. Just why? Why death threats on anything? Period. Just leave that kind of crap out of it. If you got an opinion, sure. Go voice your opinion. There are 1,001 forums out there. You got Twitter and all of that, but you do not need to threaten somebody because of how you feel about a piece of media.
Yep. Totally agree. And with that being said, I will take a bullet to save comics because Donny Cates is really the future of comics and his style. Straight up. And I mean that with all sincerity. This dude really is something amazing with what he's doing with these characters and these stories. Before my pants get any tighter, I gotta change subjects. Let's go to Avengers, man. Avengers No Road Home, number 2, legacy numbering 709. So, I'm gonna stop right there for a second. I got confused when I was putting my books away on account of the legacy numbering. The legacy numbering is coinciding with the legacy numbering of the Avengers, but just to kind of give you, just to prevent any confusion for the next book we're talking about, the Avengers number 15 is Legacy 705. So it is my assumption that Avengers No Road Home, the numbering starting at 708 in issue 1, is going to... it takes place after the end of this War of Vampires tie-in, which I'm assuming will end at 707. That's just my speculation. Just when you're putting away your comics, if you put them away in the order I do, you might have got a little confused. So I'm just trying to clear that up. Anyways, let's talk about this amazing fucking story. You've been reading this, right? I convinced you that this is a must-read 10-part weekly $50 dump. Oh, okay, this one's only $4, so $49 dump. Alright, and it's not a dump, actually. This is a terrible choice of words. You dump your money, you love the book. Al Ewing, Jim Zub, Mark Waid, so we got 3 amazing writers on there, along with Paco Medina, Juan Velasco, and Jesus Arbitrov. Cover by Jesus Saez, which I believe is also the same cover artist of the Doctor Strange book we talked about earlier. I think that name rings a bell. So, it starts out, remember how Nyx came in and shoved her face through Scarlet Witch's face
Cranium.
holes? She did that. So, it starts out, we get a little bit of a backstory of what Voyager is, her family issues, daddy issues, whatnot. We get the destruction on Olympus that we did not get a witness in the last one. We got to see Hercules showing up to the aftermath of the destruction. And this issue, we actually get to see the destruction. We get to see the death of Hermes and, is it Odysseus and fucking Zeus? Actually, Zeus doesn't die. He's spared. But yeah, no, it's this is brutal. And then we come to the conclusion that Nyx, her family's out running around. She has a son. I don't think the son is named yet, but this is the first. So technically, this is a minor key issue. It's the first mention of Nyx's son.
Yep.
So it's a minor key issue, but nevertheless, it is a thing. Meanwhile, we get this is a heavy Hawkeye story. And lately, I've been loving heavy Hawkeye stories. This is a story of self-doubt. And so we flash forward to the Avengers actually at this point fighting Nyx in real time. And one of Nyx's family members, flip to the back here where they give the rundown of all these characters. I do suggest you read this back page. Ozius, or Misery, as he's called. Every one of her family members has a certain power. And Ozius' thing is he entwines himself around you, and it's just like self-loathing. You just doubt and just despair, and you just think the worst of yourself. And who would be the best person to think the worst of themselves than Hawkeye? He who has no powers whatsoever, the least belonging of an Avenger, and he starts to make him believe himself, or he believes that himself. He even goes as far as to say that he does have a power, and that's pure luck. And it's kind of cool how they drag all that in.
He's only been lucky that he survived fighting gods.
Domino's already, sorry.
No, Domino is I immediately thought of Domino, but at the same time, like, you realize that this is a character that's not, I mean, his whole thing is like, how has he survived this long? And then you realize, maybe it is just luck.
Yeah, he gives this really fun story in the very beginning about a man who jumps out of a plane without a parachute, falls thousands of feet, and, you know, he sees a haystack that might be able to get him. So he tries to lean that way, but he still realizes that he's 10 feet too far away. He's not going to make it.
Gust of wind still blows him in.
Wind blows and lands in the hay, and the farmer who sees this runs out to him and says, "Man, you must be the most lucky man in the world." He says, "No, that title belongs to Clint." So I was like, oh, well, so he's so lucky that he's luckier than that man. That he believes that that's all he's good for. That he's survived fighting gods by launching sticks at them.
Yep, and no, that's verbatim what he says.
No, that's I believe that would have been something that was actually pulled out. That's fucking great.
So after we get this this battle between the Avengers and Voyager and Nyx and all that, Nyx and Voyager have a little spout, and the same, I can never remember its name, man. Ozius. Oizys. Oizys? O-I-Z-Y-S. O-I-Z-Y-S. Ozius. He gets a hold of Voyager, and then we just get a flash to Hawkeye waking up in the hospital. We're like, oh shit, how did he get here? How did he get here? Blah, blah, blah. And then the curtains open, like after this inner dialogue with himself, more self-doubt and all that shit, the curtains open. And you were here last week, Mason. Remember when we talked about, like, Hulk saying, don't ever get me in a room alone with yourself?
Yeah.
Well, look what happens. Hulk straight up says, we're alone now.
Time to pay up.
Dude. Going back to Civil War II, Jeremy, I explained it to these guys. In Civil War II, Hawkeye was the catalyst for it all, for killing Bruce Banner with an arrow before he turned into Hulk. But Bruce Banner designed the arrow to make. He's the one that told Hawkeye to do it. He's the only one that had the eye to be able to detect the green in Banner's eyes before he actually turned. He can only kill him with this arrow beforehand. So when that happened, that's when everything turned around. And really set off the major Venom in that storyline between all the different parties, separated the parties. And so yeah, this is them coming together for the first time since the resurrection of the immortal Hulk, and Hawkeye just being so happened to get drug into this new Avengers like B team. So yeah, that's what we get there. So it's some dark shit, man. Some dark shit. I can't wait to see what happens.
It's a great teaser.
It really is. It really is. So yeah, let's talk about more Avengers. This is the main Avengers title. This is Avengers number 15.
Vampire this week.
Yes. Legacy 605. All right, let me start out by talking about this cover. You guys read the caption on this cover. Buy this comic or we will kill this Avenger. Does that by any chance ring a bell with any historic magazine cover?
Buy this magazine or we kill this dog.
Yes, National Lampoons.
Yeah.
Jason Aaron. I'm just going to help Jason Aaron stroke himself. This is the most proud piece he says he's ever done just because of the homage he gave to that National Lampoons cover. And on it you see the, what do they call themselves? The Legion of the Undead with swords to Jamie Raya's Ghost Rider. And it's not a complete artistic homage as far as visually to the the 38 to the dog's head and the National Lampoons cover.
Fair.
But it still has the same caption. And you still get the same idea.
Dog saying this.
Oh my god, it is! It is Sarge saying that! Oh, dude, mind blown. Fuck. My headphones just flew off almost. I had to keep them on. So let's move on with this. We got a War of Vampires going on. We got Blade whooping some ass with Sergeant. Colonel Shadow, my bad. Sarge and Cap are going after it. Sarge being the devil dog. Alright, so the whole point here is that Sarge is able to take control of Jeremy Rice's mind. He has his brain. And with the Spirit of Vengeance being able to just wipe out the planet easily, Shadow Colonel finds that very useful, considering he wants to kill Dracula. Dracula is being held up at the Winter Guard, which is Russian Avengers. So while he's being held up there, the Avengers, or most of the Avengers, are out trying to take on the Legion of... What did I call them? Or I didn't call them that. What are they called?
Legion of Undead.
Legion of the Undead. Meanwhile, we're like, well, where's Tony Stark? Well, he sneaks his way into the Winter Guard, and he's trying to convince Dracula that you don't want to be held here, you want to be held with the Avengers. Dracula turned himself into the Winter Guard, saying, just keep me here for eternity. I know the Shadow Colonel's after me. I just want to die in peace here. So they have him all chained down and completely confined. Tony Stark comes in, I think you should come with us. Meanwhile, it's like, no, I'm pretty sure I want to be here. And you realize there's a whole alternate motive to his...
Yeah, and he says, like, oh, you're going to be, like, too distracted.
Right.
And suddenly all these prisoners go crazy and start attacking the
They
guards
start a riot, and yeah, so, and then the Winter Guard comes in, they're like, well, shit, Stark, how'd you get here? And, who is it? I forget what it, Crimson something. Dynamo? I think it's Crimson Dynamo.
Might be.
Yeah, he pretty much gives Stark a pass after a gut punch. He's like, won't tell anyone you're here. Just get the fuck out of here. Like, Dracula's ours. Leave it alone.
You should be arrested, but we owe you.
Right. Meanwhile, we get the coolest part of this story. Yeah, you would think that me talking about Tony Stark's part would be the coolest part, but that's not. Shadow Colonel and gang, he's giving Ghost Rider an introduction to the crew, and this is the most important part for me. Only for me, because I'm a Man-Thing fan. Remember how I was like, what is this?
Thing?
What is the Man-Thing? A little miniature Man-Thing on his shoulder. Man-Thing has the capability of creating wooden stakes, which comes useful in a vampire fight. So he has a little, we call it trimming of Man-Thing he got, called Boy-Thing, that just drips over his shoulder. And he uses to create vampire stakes. What? Yes, best thing ever. So, Shadow Colonel was like, alright, dude, check it out. We got this whole, like, room full of baby vampire kids. Like, do your thing. Tape them out. Spirit of Vengeance all up in that ass.
He pauses.
And then he pauses. And then it, like, flashes back again eventually. And you see, like, the big flame. You're like, oh, shit, this motherfucker's doing it. But you just see, like, flames everywhere but the kids. And then you see, who is it that comes in? Oh, the Avengers, because they track down the Spirit of Vengeance flame, because Black Panther has all the technology in the world.
Of course.
So that's how they do that. And then, like, you open up and you see Blade, Captain Marvel, Thor, and Captain America standing there.
Wait, Blade's part of the Avengers now?
Yes, Blade's part of the Avengers now, Mason!
What?
On
was
account of the
just the
Vampire
Sharky
War,
sword,
baby. Look
What?
at that shit.
What?
Wow.
Oh my god,
That
dude.
happened. That's so cool.
Issue
Oh,
number,
man.
actually technically issue number 10, but he's been sitting dormant, like vampire resting for 4 issues, and finally in issue 15, we got him back again. Issue 16, we get more.
That's cool.
He's there to kill Dracula. Everybody wants to kill Dracula. And
Vampire Blade's there.
because Vampire Blades. This is the best Avengers story ever told.
It's crazy, and it just
Jason
growing.
Aaron is the greatest writer in the history of
It's my
comics
favorite
of
team
all
book,
time.
for
It is.
sure.
It is the best team book. There is no debating a better team book out there. Bitterroot's good. The Avengers is unmatchable. But there's more team books to talk about. I'm losing my voice. I got so excited about that. All right. Uncanny X-Men number 12, Legacy 631, Matthew Rosenberg, Salvador LaRocca, and the wonderful, brilliant Rachel Rosenberg, covered by LaRocca and Rosenberg. So, a $4 X-Men book. It's nice, because on account of all the $8 ones we've been getting lately.
Yeah.
Cyclops and Wolverine, back from the dead, together, here to recruit more mutants, and that's what this book is. I can go on and on about the brilliance and wonderful storytelling of all of this, but flat out, what I would just want you to tell you is that you get Scott Summers and Logan, newly resurrected, together, trying to reform an X-Men team, and god damn, do you get some payoff. There's some payoff. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. We already get Havoc back. I thought it was going to be a year before we saw Alex Summers, dude. I thought it was going to be a year at least before we saw Havoc after the whole of Astonishing X-Men. Remember how that all ended? Imprisoned. Here he is, imprisoned. And they save his ass. And Havoc saves the day. Well, it's looking like Havoc's going to save the day. Like, he's the guy. He's the fucking guy. He's back. I can't say enough good things about this book. This is X-Men, dude. It's finally, like, now that we got our 10 issues out of the way, we got the annual out of the way, we got the wrap-up out of the way, now we're just getting the story. And it's still tying into the 25, other side issues of the Age of X-Men thing. But nevertheless, this is doing a great job of separating all the worlds.
Wait, so this is a tie-in to the Nathan Gray story?
This is the aftermath.
Oh, cool.
This is what it is. All the other, like, the Nightcrawler story we're talking about, the next gen and all that stuff. That is the Age of X-Man aftermath 5-issue miniseries.
Separate
Okay, cool.
So it's
reality, universe.
yeah, it's all tied in. It's all going to come together. It's just in the meantime, it's just getting brilliant storytelling between all of the mutants. All of them are all coming in at one point or another. It's amazing. It's amazing. Last Marvel book I need to talk about is Old Man Quill, number 2. Ethan Sachs, Robert Gill, and Andres Moza.
Interesting book.
Yes, the Wastelands are back. Crash landing. They're realizing that Doom is running shit. We get a pretty sweet interaction. There's just every little bit of every type of emotion is in this book. I don't know how to do this justice. This book isn't. I will say this book isn't as strong as the first issue, but I only say that because I believe that it came out 2 weeks after. From here on out, this book will be monthly, as it should be. I did actually ask Sachs what the schedule was on this, and he said if this book comes out at this pace, then he's going to his writer or his illustrators are going to die. And I like Robert Gill. I've become pretty fond of him. So this is Old Man Guardians of the Galaxy. You get Old Rocket, except for Groot, There is no Groot.
Groot's gone.
Groot's a mystery.
We got Mantis.
We
We got
don't-
everybody else.
Yep. It's... I don't know how to do this book justice, to be honest. And we get the Shi'ar at the end, or was the Church of like something truth or something like that. I don't know.
Universal truth.
Universal truth, that's what it is. So yeah, we mentioned the Shi'ar earlier. They're pretty much the villains in all this. And the ending of this is pretty much them going, oh, well, look at Earth. It's all like not untruthed and stuff. Let's go truth it. So yeah, that's what happens there. So I did this book no justice, but as far as talking about it, only because I really do want you to read this. Ethan Sachs was doing an amazing job with the Wasteland stories. He's no stranger to throwing curveballs at us. So who knows? Issue 3, we might already fucking get a Hawkeye or something thrown in the mix. I don't know. We know that Doom's gonna be a part of this. If that's not intriguing enough, then I don't know why you read comics. You have any other Marvel books to talk about?
That'll do it.
No. Right on. Well, as far as honorable mentions go, I did pick up the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends number 10 again, as I have been. I think once, like I keep saying every time it comes out, when I get to issue 30, I'll give you a rundown. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. 30 is a lot of issues. At this point, let's talk about the indie book of the week. So, once again, apparently we have, and I don't say apparently in a bad way, we have been dubbed ones who review and rate indie upcoming comic books. Creators, all that stuff. We do webcomics, we do whatever. If you guys aren't behind a big publisher and you guys just want your stuff to get out there and you want a fair review, send them our way. Because we do that now. This week we have Lord of the Cosmos. A hellacious creative team, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to Jason Lenox, Jason Palmatier, and Dennis Fallon as the main three. This, I felt, was a Justin book for sure. For me, this was a visually, masterfully stunning book. But you actually read both issues. We are specifically reviewing issue number 2, being it's their latest. They're getting ready to launch issue number 3 soon.
Yeah, I wanted to have a little bit of a context to see what I was jumping into.
Right on. Well, what do you got as far as lay down a basic plot line for us?
Basic plot line, there is a giant, ever-growing machine or network of power and resources across this world called the Machine. And then there's one big bad evil guy called Umex, and he was defeated, and he's been dormant, waiting for his time to strike, and he has a big bad evil team. And we get a good rundown of who they are, and a lot of the story is really just about who these bad guys are, and that, hey, they're bad guys, and they're brutal, and they're unique. And
I feel
that's about the context I'm getting.
That's what I got out of this. I feel like it's a very heavy introduction to this magnificent world of villains more than anything. But god damn, is it intriguing to me. The way all the characters are introduced, or I don't want to say campy because that sounds bad, but in a very fun way. Like it's brooding, but at the same time,
80s or 90s Saturday morning cartoon feel to it. It feels
but
very,
without being childish though. You're
right, but it has that like He-Man kind of vibe to it, but it's comic book, and they're definitely aiming at adults who were alive in the 80s and 90s and who watched those comic books.
It's the nostalgia factor without being
overly
plagiarizing, basically.
Okay, well, all right. So if I were to, just real quick before I get into this, before I go any further, if I were to describe this book in just a few words, I would say a cosmic version of Magic the Gathering. That's what I got out of this. Okay. This is a space, like, you just get this variety of magnificent different versions of characters with all their own incredible abilities and very unique and plotted out, but obviously in a space setting, and you get that space vibe to it and it's very...
it has this, like, co-mingling of fantasy and sci-fi, because you've got a unicorn who's also a cyborg.
It's amazing. All of this character design is amazing on every single panel. This art, there's no color in this, And honestly, I say if this book was done in color, it would have been ruined. If you guys do bring in a colorist, you're gonna ruin the book, and I'm just gonna say that as a fan and a critic, do not bring in a color artist. For the covers and everything, obviously that's fine. But if you were to do a color scheme on this, the only way to make it look aesthetically pleasing would be do like a drab overcast scale, like an all like teal scale or something like that. And that would take away from the fun factor of this. If you were to add fun colors to this type of art style, it would just be weird. And it wouldn't be aesthetically pleasing at all. It would be very opposite, because this art style and the heavy ink and line work, and there's a lot of love and cross hatching gone into every single panel.
But at the same time, with that in mind, the love that is put into the panels that I'm seeing, far be it for me to actually criticize whatever would be the color decisions of the artist to make on this if they did decide to colorize it.
I get you. I honestly don't want to see anything.
No, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time,
no.
I definitely, with the effort and detail that I see that goes into the panels as they are.
Look at that.
There's a lot.
I can only imagine what this looks like to the mind in color.
Well, maybe that's part of the attraction, is that you can fill it in yourself.
Exactly.
It's. I don't know how to describe this. This is amazing. You fucking eagle, missile, and explosion. All right,
I'm glad you're that excited about this one. This one, it checks all the boxes for what should be a Justin book, but I don't know if I'm going to follow up on this one. I liked it. I liked the artwork. I liked the story seemed fine. It just wasn't delivered in a way that caught my interest yet.
No, see, to me, this was the perfect delivery for something like me. And I'm a type of person, for those that aren't, I don't give a fuck about lore. Like, I just want to smash buttons and, like, shoot shit. That's just how I am in all manners of everything. I don't care about all the back stuff and the stories and all that stuff. And not that there's anything wrong with any of that going on here. But to me, everything I see in this book is just like all of the great things that I love that attracts me. It's the dialogue is very drawing to my type of reading personality, I guess. It's just, it's fun. I find it like I said, the character designs are imaginative in the way that I only recollect that from like Magic the Gathering. I really do. And this is like a cosmic Magic the Gathering. That's how I see this. And beyond this just being a book, like after the first 20 pages, you get all of these short mini stories, like explaining the depth of these characters a little more, all done by different variant artists and everything.
Yeah, you kind of get 2 comics in one.
Lots of comics in one. And to touch on that a little more, as far as like, well, where can you get this comic? Let us tell you where you get this comic. If you actually want a physical version of this comic, they have an oversized jumbo versions. So I'm going to say close to 60 pages a piece of issue 1 and 2. You can actually get the physical versions on Etsy, and we'll post a link to that. That's Lenox Art Emporium. And then if you want the digital versions, only $5 a piece. You get 60 pages. You could find that on Comixology. Once again, the name of the book is Lords of the Cosmos. I apologize. I love this.
I think it was 40 pages.
No, I got like 58 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But somewhere you get your money's worth.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I truly believe. And the art style is just so freaking cool, man. I just respect all the love that went into this. I bet you each one of these issues took a year.
I mean, they definitely felt like the old style of Saturday morning cartoons that I know and remember. So there's definitely a market for that. I mean, there's definitely that nostalgia. And
being that that's my generation, I am the generation of Saturday morning cartoons.
Exactly.
You got me. And that's a huge audience, man. So once again, shout out to Jason Lenox, Jason Palmatier, and Dennis Fallon, along with their other amazing staff. They actually have a bunch of other like big guys working on this too. Like
sounds like they're like also working on a toy line and everything else, or they're really
chasing
after a franchise.
Other names attached to this project include like Robert Hack and Livio Ramondelli. Bill McKay, Joe Palumbo, Rebecca George. So these guys know what's up, and I believe they're out of the UK too. So
I definitely recommend you at least check them out, see if they're your thing.
UGG Studios, cool. Missed that. UGG Studios. So we'll post ugly. Sorry, I'm far away. That's cool. UGLI. Oh, that is cool. Well, you know, noticing stuff. So yeah, we'll post links and everything. My recommendation is absolutely yes. If they have more info, we'll post it as we go. So
Well, yeah.
for sure.
Thanks for sending your comment, guys. We enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you. And any other indie creators out there, send us your stuff. There is a line at this point. I will go ahead and be as bold as to say I prefer webcomics. And I will say, send me your best stuff. Don't send us your portfolio. Send us the thing you're most proud of, the thing you want us
to review?
Exactly.
We don't really go into too many spoilers on these because we want to convince people to go read it for themselves.
For sure. 100%. So yes, send us your stuff. Yeah, in the meantime, fucking cheers to Lords of the Cosmos.
Cheers.
Kersploosh. Wall books?
Wall books.
Wall books.
Did you buy anything just for your wall?
I did. We already talked about High Level a little bit. It is a Francesco Mattina, so naturally he gets my money. That's just a pretty purple cover.
Yeah, that's a good one.
An incredibly pretty purple cover. Another wall book. I have 3 total this week. I did pick up the Nightwing variant. I thought this one online digitally. I didn't order it. I didn't pre-order this one because I was like, I don't know if that one does me any good. And then I picked it up, and physically, looking at this cover digitally does no justice. But it's the Nightwing 57 variant by Jeff DeCal, and it's just a brooding, it's such a good.
I like the color on that a lot.
Rick Grayson. That's so weird to say, Rick Grayson. My last wall book. Oh man, I once again had no interest. Didn't pre-order it. Had no interest until I went to the LCS and saw it myself, and it was the variant of Return of Wolverine #5 by Adam Kubert.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. Oh,
The
I like
Hawk
that.
Claws.
And
Dude,
I'm gonna have to give you
it's
that. Before
purely
you even
done
get
in
there.
cross-hatching.
Yeah, don't even ask me when you get there. That's my cover of the week right there. Is the Hot Claws Wolverine.
That's amazing, man.
Well, that seems like a good little segue. What's your cover of the week, Ryan?
Hawk Claws. It's like we know each other or something, Mason. That's
Nice.
2 weeks in a row. I think that might be every time we've agreed, to be honest. I could be wrong. At least 3 out of 4, though. What about yours, man? What's your cover of the week?
That's gonna have to be the high level one. I like the robot, I like the stature, and I love.
Dude,
purple.
that Mattina cover, dude. It's
Yeah.
on it. I wouldn't have bought this book if it wasn't for the cover. And if that doesn't say something, then...
Yep, I like that.
Is there a cover that caught your eye this week? Here, I'll give you the stack to go through real quick, Jeremy. Like, just pick your favorite cover.
40 books, real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Man, honestly, going back to High Level while I'm killing time here, I really just, I feel bad for shutting a book halfway through.
I mean, I've been there. There's plenty of novels where I've gotten halfway through and I've been told, just make it to the end and it's good, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
And I can say the same thing about Lord of the Rings. The first 3/4 of that book is really hard to read, but you can learn to appreciate it if you can push past that. But I'm never gonna blame somebody for not getting to that point.
Yeah. No, that's my bad, because the way you just described that book and like flipping through it with you and everything, that if I would have turned the page.
Well, I mean, you read how many comic books every week? If there's one that you're just not enjoying, there's no reason to force yourself to read it. Don't become a hate reader.
That's true. That is true. That's a good point, man. I'm glad you brought that up. Just because we're telling you to read it doesn't mean you need to read it.
Yeah, I mean, we can just say whether we recommend
Yes, it
something or not.
does.
It does. You're right. Mason, it's like we're on the same level, dude. You just know, man. You just know.
Well, you guys can suck each other off later. Do you have a favorite story of the week?
Actually, I do. Hulkverines.
Wolverines, all right.
Hulkverines takes it.
That was a good one.
Yeah, man.
Fair enough.
Greg Pak just... It had everything, dude. It had brutality. It had action. It had a fucking villain that I didn't think we needed.
Right.
and I liked it. I giggled. I really liked it. I giggled. That is the key to getting me to pick a comic of the week, I think. I think every single comic I've read had to make me giggle.
Nice. Well, I mean, there you go.
Yeah, that was the one. What about you, man?
That's a little harder.
There was
so hard. Avengers, though. I just continue to love this story.
Dude, it's
just so out there.
It's not just the Avengers at this point. Now it's the Legion of the Undead,
it's everybody they can think to throw in on Marvel.
Boy Thing? Are you kidding me, dude? And not is it just Boy Thing. Like, the purpose is so... Makes sense. It makes so much sense. It's...
Yeah.
I love it. I love it hard. That was a good pick, man.
And Robbie Reyes is kind of becoming one of my favorite Ghost Riders. And, like, there's this whole, like, super powerful demon being controlled by these magical words. Like,
I like it.
There's something going down.
For sure.
Something going down.
Did you pick your favorite cover, Jeremy?
Well, I can't pick just one.
I know it's hard.
Of course. I really like that Nightwing up there.
The Nightwing's pretty dope.
The Avengers you were just discussing, dude. Boy Thing. I can't get over that either.
Dude, and it's
That's
total,
great.
like, it's an homage. Like, it's not a swipe cover, but it's an homage to one of the most iconic magazine covers of all
Buy
time.
this comic or we'll kill this Avenger.
Yep.
I also really like this Wolverine Infinity Watch. That's great.
Oh, the gauntlet and the
Dude,
claws.
The gauntlet and the claws. That's great. Also, the return of Wolverine, too.
Wolverine's just a guy.
Dude, Wolverine. No matter what, there's a reason why. He will live
back.
forever.
There's a reason why they brought him back,
Wolverine.
man. There's a reason why they brought him back. He had some fans. He at least had a couple fans.
Of
always
course.
has fans.
Yeah, that's one that they'll never keep dead for long.
For sure. Do you have a favorite story, Mason, that we talked about? I know you don't read all of these, but I
See,
think
that's the thing is, if you were going to ask me about internals, I can't really go off of stories right now because the beer's been working.
Good.
So
That's good.
I'm going to go with the simpleton method and tell you about, what I liked about the colors in the pretty pictures.
Oh, so we're gonna go jump into interiors. You segue us into our favorite interiors. Then let's do that.
I have to say my favorite interior was Bitterroot.
Good
Yeah,
call,
fair,
man.
fair,
That
yeah.
was really good. Oh, you got that right out of the way right off the bat, huh?
Are
This
you guys,
podcast was over after issue 1. For old Mason, he just tuned the fuck out.
Are you
No,
still,
it's just that was my favorite interior. It's just the color scheme was so different from everything else I see either of you look at.
Yeah.
The color scheme is so out there.
Sanford
It's just-
Greed, Rico
I
Renzi,
can't-
man.
Yeah, you
I
guys
can
are
wrap
bad.
my head around it. It's just I don't think I could do it myself and actually make it look good.
Yeah. Right on. Well, yeah, no, it's it's good shit. It's damn good shit. That's a
Are you
good
still on the same wavelength? Are you agreeing with that?
No. Go ahead, what's yours?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Middle West this week. I felt like Jorge's really just letting loose, and I'm really seeing what he can do as an artist, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah. No, dude, Corona's just killing it, man. It's issue after issue, it gets better and better and better. I'm stalling. I can't think of my favorite interior artist. Usually
It's tough.
when Ryan Stegman's in the mix, though, Venom's got to take it. Ryan Stegman just puts in work, dude. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Ryan Stegman's gonna take my interiors.
That
Just
was a
Venom
really
number
cool
11.
withered little symbiote.
It's good, man.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's really good. Was there a first time read? Yeah, there's a few first time reads you could put in there. What was your first time read? Was it like High Level or
That would
Hulkverines?
be, yeah, I'd say High Level is probably my pick.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, Hulkverines close second for sure.
You know, it would only make sense for me to pick Hulkverines, but I'm actually gonna say, just to give shout outs, Sharky the Bounty Hunter, man. That's my book. Yeah, that's my number 1 of the week. For sure.
Yeah, sounds like a fun read.
Oh, dude. These next 5 issues are going to be amazing. Speaking of next, should we talk about next week's books?
Let's do it.
Let's freaking do it, man. It's a little bit lighter from my recollection. Not sure, though. We got Aliens Resistance, number 2, Brian Wood and Robert Carey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to jump on here. I'm going to find issue number 1. Anything that's Aliens, I got to get. I don't know how I missed number 1, but I did. That's by Dark Horse, by the way. Also by Dark Horse is Fight Club number 2. Or Fight Club 3 by number 2. God, numbers. Beer. Chuck Palahniuk and Cameron Stewart. I had the chance to read this already. It is just as mind fucky as you would hope a Polinick comic would be.
Sure.
Dude. Moving on to DC. Oh shit, we're already at 1008 of Action Comics. Brian Michael Bendis and we got a new guy, Steve Epting. So, been reading this book, been enjoying this book. It is a new arc now, so Action Comics, Brian Michael Bendis doing great.
Batman Beyond, number 29. Dan Jurgens and Brett Booth, Norman Rapman.
We're gonna get more of this Death in the Family, perhaps. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is Joker gonna find out who Bruce is?
Maybe.
I think they're gonna outwit him. I don't think so, but
maybe.
I do think that Matthew McKinnis is gonna die. Just saying. Robin gonna die. Heroes in Crisis number 6. Tom King and Mitch Gerards. Mitch Gerards is doing this one. Jesus Christ!
It's a good team.
That's a great team. We'll be talking about some Mr. Miracle for you guys real soon. Justice League Odyssey number 6. Dan Abnett, Carmine D. Jan Dimencio. What I'm gonna go with there. So this is Space Justice League. I hear great things. The only Justice League book I'm not reading though, sadly. Oh shit. Oh frick! I missed this one. Martian Manhunter number 3. Steve Orlando and Riley Rossmo. And I'm pissed because I missed that Joshua Middleton variant I forgot to pre-order. So, I gotta show up early to the LCS, guys, because that's podcasting. Let me zoom in on that for the podcast, guys. You guys can not see that. But, oh man, that's good stuff. The dude, Josh Middleton just has a million different freaking styles. Shazam, number 3. Jeff Johns and Dale Eaglesham.
The DC week.
It is. It is a heavy DC week. Shazam. Fun shit. Wonder Woman, number 65. G. Willow Wilson and Jesus Moreno. Not reading. Here you should, though. Is that all? That's all we have for DC. For Dynamite, though. We've got John Wick, number 5. Greg Pak. We talked about Greg Pak a little bit ago. He obviously knows how to write a freaking comic book.
Yep.
And Giovanni Valletta. I hear great things about John Wick. I missed it, though. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Realm is back! Image Comics. I feel like it's been forever since we've read Realm, man.
Several months.
Yeah, Seth Peck and Jeremy Hahn. So, this is
cool.
Number 11. So, man, those last 5 issues went quick, dude.
Yeah.
It really did. Spawn, number 294. Tom McFarlane and Jason Sean Alexander. Spawn's got new powers. Spawn be killing shit. Spawn be getting closer to 300 to become the longest running independent American comic book of all time. Buy that book. Moving on to Marvel. Age of X-Men. Extremis. My most anticipated of all the 5 shots. Lee Williams and George Jeanley on that one. Amazing Spider-Man number 16. Nick Spencer and Ryan Otley. We all know how that's going. Great. Black Panther number 9, Ta-Nehisi Coates and Kev Walker. By the way, congratulations, Black Panther, on 2 Oscars. Avengers No Road Home number 3, Al Ewing, along with the rest of his amazing writing team and Paco Medina. So that weekly's just chugging along. It ain't gonna stop. Better not stop.
Captain America number 8. Ta-Nehisi Coates and Adam Kubert.
I gotta say that cover alone, the Alex Ross cover alone is worth.
All so good.
All of these covers have been amazing. He's been a busy guy between Immortal Hulk and Captain America. The dude's been killing it, Mr. Alex Ross. Amazing. We got a Captain Marvel story. I'm not familiar with this one. Captain Marvel Braver and Mightier number 1. Jody Hauser and Simone Buofatino. Probably said that wrong. It's a long ways away from here. But Captain Marvel apparently has a movie coming out, I guess. So
yeah, I think I heard about that.
I might have. I don't know. I don't pay attention to comic books. Daredevil number 2, Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. So excited about this. Marco Cicchetto got my Artist of the Year last year. Now he's drawing an amazing book that is Daredevil. The Daredevil that I want to read. Dark, brooding, just back, barely alive Daredevil. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Fantastic Four, number 7, Dan Slott and Aaron Cooter. Loving this book. Finally, the team is back. I forget where we left off, but I know that there's some Galactus and Doom shit happening.
Yep.
What better way to fucking have a
I think we've
Fantastic
had
Four book
one
than...
since the wedding.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the one after the wedding, which is, more doom fighting. Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Oh, more Marvel Comics Presents. We got number 2, Charles Soule and Paulo Siqueira and other artists and writers.
Yeah, I forget who they are featuring in this one. There's going to be some Gorilla Man, some Reed Richards, Victor Von Doom.
And Logan.
Read this book. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Savage Sword of Conan number 2. Jerry Duggan. Yeah, they're coming out quick with this one, huh? That was just last week.
Yep.
I don't think this one's going to stay bi-weekly. I'd like to think it levels off to monthly after this. Man, it can only... As good as all of this Conan is...
So are we getting 2 different Conans right now?
We've got Jason Aaron's Conan the Barbarian, and we've got Jerry Duggan's Savage Sword of Conan going on at the same time. Loving them both so far. Hopefully issue 2 of Savage Sword is half as good. If it's half as good as the first issue, then you still got me.
Yeah.
Is it an Alex Ross cover this? It's not an Alex Ross cover this week. It's still a great cover though. God, that's a great cover. Conan the Barbarian, man, I never would have thought, dude. Never would have thought.
Yeah, we still need to watch the movie.
We do. Superior Spider-Man number 3. My favorite Spider-Man book. Christos Gage and Mike Hawthorne. This has been an awesome Spider-Man book.
You're the Otto fan, huh?
I think I am.
Nice.
I was very oblivious to Otto up until the Spider-Geddon event, and he just totally proved himself to be bad arse. So Superior Spider-Man is totally my number 1 Spider-Man book.
Nice.
Oh boy.
West Coast Avengers number 8. Kelly Thompson, Gang Huck Lim.
This book has just been pure fun.
Yeah, you turned me on to this one. I didn't think it would be my kind of book, but I love it.
It really is great. I didn't think it'd be my book either. I always
well
jump
written.
on number 1s of like reignited series. And what is that, number 8 now?
Yep.
Got them all. Let's move into Boom Studios. We got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 36, Marguerite Bennett and Simone de Mayo. I can honestly say that the Mighty Morphin line after the Shattered Grid has been like every other issue. Meanwhile, Go-Go has just been a solid, like, actually steady getting better as it goes. Mighty Morphin has been the same, but like it's still kind of roller coastery. Not bad in any way. Just I'm totally reading it. Hopefully, my point is I want to talk to you guys about Mighty Morphin. They got to give me some shit to talk about. But I'm not familiar with all the new types of Power Rangers either, so that hurts. Last indie I want to talk about comes from Valiant, and it is Bloodshot Rising Spirit number 4, Kevin Gervaux. And this time they have Harvey Tabalco on here, or Tabalio. Last issue, number 3, I had a bit of an issue with Ken Lashley's art, just because some of it was confusing. I'm hoping that this is a little more consistent with the artwork. Not saying last issue is bad, because I'm still super, super excited. The only Valiant title I'm really subscribed to until they reboot EXO in a couple months. Then I'll be subscribed to that, too. Rising Spirit has been the ultimate book for a new Bloodshot fan. For sure. That's all we have that we're excited about. There's still, like, 2 billion other comic books that are hitting shelves next week.
So many books.
We don't have everybody's taste, so if you have ours, you're excited. That doesn't... If there's nothing that we said that you're excited about, there's going to be something on the shelf you're excited about.
There's something for everybody.
And if not, then why are you listening to us? That's weird. What's your most anticipated book next week?
West Coast.
West Coast Avengers?
Yeah, it's always just Kelly Thompson writes a good team.
Right on.
I know I'm going to open it up and enjoy it.
Right on. Mine is actually Bloodshot. I'm curious to see how they how things work out from the last issue. I really, really, really enjoyed the story of the last issue, but it was such a weird last page that was just so left
the whole
field.
Thing that happened after the whole, like, him covering the grenade.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. I want to know what happens there. I want to know. And I want to make sure everybody's faces look the same.
Next week too, though.
There's some Captain America.
Yeah.
There is. Do we have any final thoughts this week? I don't
Don't
think so.
send death threats
Definitely don't send
over
threats.
a fucking comic book.
There's no reason to send threats about any form of media. There's no reason to send people threats anyways.
Yeah,
Like,
don't be stupid.
Even if you have malicious intentions towards a person, there's no reason to fucking send them a threat. If you're gonna do something, you're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
Let's spread the good cheer for comics.
And dog, of all people, the dude that has a cult, how fucking...
Yeah.
Guys.
Don't be messing with our Dark Lord.
You're fucking up. Like, and I'm just gonna say this, like, you guys, you know, Donnie Case is weird and all. The dude's incredibly forgiving. He's an amazing person. But you don't know how weird his cult followers are, you fucking dummy.
I don't. Now I'm gonna go find out.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like,
Gonna learn.
I'm gonna learn.
you don't, I'm gonna learn today. Guys, you never know. The dude's obviously connected. He knows me for one, so enough said. With that being said, I would like to say that this has been awesome actually having 4 people here to join us halfway through. We got our boy Jeremy. Eventually, I'm going to talk him into coming on and doing a Walking Dead special.
That'll be fun.
On account of he knows a lot about the Walking Dead comics.
I've read most, well, the first 3 compendiums.
That's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a couple.
It's a couple.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 pages at least. So, yeah, no, there's stuff to be excited for. I would like to remind you, all you indie creators out there, don't stop creating. Send your stuff to us if you want a little bit of exposure, if you want a fair review by just a couple of schmoes who like to read comics
Yeah, we
quite
like
a
reading your
fucking
stuff,
bit.
and we like talking about your stuff.
Other than that, you guys know where to find us. Twitter, now on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and hosted on Podbean. Would like to give a special thanks one more time to our beer suppliers of Upslope out of Boulder. Other than that, I think I have runned it out of words. Read responsibly.
Share, like, subscribe. We love you guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.